about the the situation in Gambella. I just do not want to speak for them because I believe it's the wearer of the shoe that knows where it hurts. Ujagrua. Okay. Shifra, I believe that's another language that I don't speak. Oh, you can't type? I can bring you on if you can type at the same time. You can have something to say. Whoa, Pauline, I didn't know that you were a student. So just as like I said before, and like I've been saying for the whole week, I've been looking forward to discuss the war going on in Gambella because it's affecting the Luo of Ethiopia, who are the Anua. I got a promise 2 days ago that the Luo of Ethiopia will be here, but apparently they haven't joined. They'll probably show up around 1. Those that are joining from YouTube, I think I can bring you up to speed real quick. You know, my name is KP Jaluo Broad, Luo Ambassador in Eastern Central Africa. Tonight, I want to talk about the war that's going on in Western Ethiopia because it's affecting Anuak. Anuak are the Luo of Ethiopia. As I wait for them to join through TikTok, it's not bad to say hi. Pauline Okelo, I also don't understand. She said something that I can't understand. That sounds very Spanish or something like this. Jello Tanzania. Tonight we're talking about the Luo of Ethiopia. I promise that on Monday we're going to have a general conversation where you can know each other and trying to see how your languages match. My babe, Janet, I think there's something I'm missing, I didn't know that we are babes. I didn't know that. Now I do. Hello, David Buda Philip. Nice to see you here, Imelda. Thanks for joining. Oh, okay. Shifra, I think I just remember the joke, I graduado, something like this. Some little girl said that. So those that are joining from YouTube, I believe that brought you up to speed so far. If you hear me reading comments, just know that I'm live both on TikTok and YouTube. So you might not be able to see why I interact and what the comments that I read. But just know that tonight I want to talk about the war going on in Gambella. Just to give you an overview, Gambella is Western Ethiopia, and that's where the Luo of Ethiopia called the Anuak live. The Anuak have been having invasions and fights from the Nuer of South Sudan, making the whole region of Gambella, Western Ethiopia, to be quite unstable. And for this reason, the Anuak are the Luo group with the highest number of refugees. So originally, I do not want to talk for them, and I had promised that we will have an Anuak and Nuer joining in to have this conversation complete because I don't like one-sided stories. So I would love to hear from both the chicken and the eagle. As well, we shall discuss the issues. I need to tell you. Kilama, those that are looking for wives and husbands, I encourage Luo marriages. Just make sure that I'm the best man in your wedding. and the dowry must be paid to me, you know. I have to get the Jagam benefits. David, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Pauline Okelo, yes, I see Janet is in love. Eh? Kilama, we give the love back. Eh? Yes, I think Janet has decided to declare and take me by force. I did not know that we're babes, eh? Small world. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. We are about to figure it out. Okay, Pauline Okelo. Let's allow Pauline Janet. What did I say your name? Let's allow Janet to babe me for tonight, eh? Good morning, bro. How are you? I'm good. I'm not sure if is it morning. Okay. Exactly what we need to hear from you. Yes, we need to hear from both sides, from the Anuak and from the Nuer. Last time they promised that they would join, but let's assume they'll join in 12 minutes. Ramakus, huh? Hello, hello. Oh, yes, 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 David, I remember Jopari. How is the situation in South Sudan as of this moment? Is it stable? David, nice to have you here. By the way, anyone, David is Japari, Luo of South Sudan. So if you didn't know, now you do know that there's a Luo tribe in South Sudan called Pari. I'm searching for Japadola lady. I'm in Kenya. Kochola Oscar. Don't be lazy. Just take a bus and go to Tororo. Then you'll find Japadola ladies there. Do you mind me asking for your name? Me? Pauline? Okay, go ahead. Kochola Oscar, it's not it. Yeah, it's a dating platform. But I think so many people here are coming to look for spouses. Okinyinyo Sala. Your name? My name is KP Jalua Broad, Luo Ambassador, Eastern Central Africa. Yeah? The only existing Luo documentary filmmaker. For that reason, if you're watching this, please go to my YouTube channel and watch at least one Luo documentary and share one with your friends, you know. You could have just mentioned it, bro. Pauline Okelo, eh? We siblings? We will talk about that. Elizabeth Kenny. No. We don't do Kunyonga live. Adi Maber Daisy, how are you doing? If you see any Anuak around there, can you grab them and bring them here because they're in real demand. Tonight, if the Anuak do not show up, then I would have to speak for them. Eh? At least I tried. Let's keep the comments respectful. Eh? Bibi celebrity, that's Swahili, but it has a very bad meaning. Eh? It's actually shame. I think Kenyans understand. I can't translate here live. I'm a bear neat guy. In Tianining. We are still in the hunt for the Anuak. But I see Achebe Omot. Omot sounds very Anuak. I think by now I can tell the Luo tribes by the name. Yes, Achebe Omot, I'm looking for you guys to tell me about the war going on in Gambella, right from the start. Nyanyua, you're welcome. People asking to join. Could we kindly give the chance for the Anuak and the Nuer for now to give us the overview of the war? And then after that, we will have a general interaction where we'll be able to bring anyone on board. Can someone inbox DP Celebrity and tell him what Kunyonga is? Nyasiaya, I saw your request, but now you love Kenya. We're looking for love Ethiopia tonight. Achebe Omot, send me an invite to join this, and then I will accept you. Jaluo, Lokri. Okay, lo. Pauline, good night. I hope one day you'll ever join early because every time you join, you're about to sleep. The people joining from YouTube just know that as soon as we have a guest joining on TikTok, I'll put you up to speed and think I'll be able to share the voice. And we are about to discuss the war going on in Gambella. I'll try to put you up to speed through commentary as much as I can. But at this moment, we haven't had an Anuak and Nuer. I saw Nyanyua here. Where did she go to? Let me hunt for her because she didn't send me the invites. Okay. Achebe Omot, I just sent you an invite. If you could just accept and join. And I hope you have, oh, we have here. Nyanyua. Bedonedi. Oh, Nyingi. I'm a bear, Nyinga KP, Jalu abroad.
Okay, Nyinga bear.
And Abedo Luomi, Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
And Luo Mari America, but Luo Mari Ethiopia.
Luo Mari Ethiopia. Just checking. Yes, so. Yeah, so like I said before, for a whole week, I've been trying to discuss the war going on in Gambella. And this war, I think you know so much about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you do, then I will give you the platform to help us understand the what, the why, the who, the when, and the which about this war. As we wait for any Nuer to join so that we get from both ends. Okay. But meanwhile, I think the floor is yours. As much as we understand the Anywaa, I think you could put us up to speed in English.
Okay, yeah, I will translate in English. Okay. I'm just gonna say what I know most because, like, I don't know, like, I know some of it, but like, there's more people that are more educated than me about the situation. But for what I know, the biggest issue amongst us in Gambella is the refugee thing. There's been an issue where there's been killing back and forth on each side. And recently there was a young girl who was pulled out of the bus. And I believe she was a few months pregnant, and she was like basically killed and like slaughtered basically like while she was pregnant. And this caused like a rage. And then I I guess they try to make peace or something like that between the two tribes. And one of the officers was going to talk to the officer, like the other people, and I guess he was murdered as well, a police officer who was a Anuak, which caused a big outrage amongst the Anuak community. Yes, we do have evidence, my brother. And
before we go so much, could you take me back to how it started, which year, why, before we get to the current situation?
Yeah, well, Nuer and Anuak, they've always been fighting. It's been a situation that's always been occurring. But the biggest thing was the refugee thing, which was, you know, they were leaving the camps. And then when they would leave the camps, because, you know, when you live in a camp area, like if you're a refugee, you cannot like just leave the camps. So I guess they would leave the camps, and then sometimes people get murdered, people get hurt. And then on the north side, they will say, oh, Anuak people are attacking buses, which, you know, a lot of Anuak people are saying there's no evidence of that. So it's been basically a tick for tack thing that's been going on, which caused, you know, to this point, it caused a big outrage where I think last week, 2 weeks ago, there was a white army. They came to Gambella and they went to the villages and they slaughtered a lot of elderly women, a lot of elderly, even children and men. They were slaughtered in their villages and their houses were looted and a whole bunch of things and it just caused a whole commotion to the point like even some villages right now, of course, is being restored, but like, you know, a lot of people were displaced from their homes. And right now, like, they don't come to our city. Well, they don't come to our village. They stay where the camps area. So, you know, it's been a whole situation that's been going on for a long time now. And I think that Nuer people have had enough about the situation. And I'm sure Nuer people as well, because there is some of them that are affected by it too, you know. But the thing with the Nuer people is the biggest thing is like, why do refugees leave the camps and have the power to just do what they please? There should be a law and an order in place that they should follow. And Anuak people are at the point where they're saying no more refugees because Nuer and Anuak people, they're not living in peace together. They can't coexist. So what they want now is just basically separation. So that's what's going on right now. It's deep, and I wish somebody was on a Nuer person who's more knowledgeable of this situation. And the biggest thing too, Nuer people is about land grab. You know, historically we know that Gambella is a Nuer people land. You know, and it's been a huge issue where Nuer people are feeling like these people are coming, trying to take our land. And we feel like, why are they doing this? And they're killing our people to try to do this. So, and then the north side, they're like, no, we're not trying to take you guys' land. You guys are the one hurting us. So it's just like everybody is feeling entitled, but Anwar people truly, they feel like they're defending their land and defending their people. So that's the situation that I can, you know, wrap up a little bit, give you a quick summary of it. I wish there was another Anwar. Oh, Abung is here. I think you should bring her up. She's a perfect person. Bring up Abung. Yeah, bring her up. Yeah, bring her up.
Could you just send me the invite and I will accept? You mentioned about the refugees, and I'm wondering. I know you were referring to the Nuer refugees from South Sudan. Did the war start before the refugees arrived in Gambella, or did it start with the arrival of the refugees? Hello, Abang.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, I kind of cut into your talking. What were you gonna say?
It's okay. I was just welcoming you, and I think our sister Umot said that you could possibly have a good understanding of the war going on in Gambella, and because she's mentioned there's a struggle between the local community, the Anuak, the Luo, and the Nuer, who are the refugees. And I think in the comment you mentioned that it stems from the Nuer expansion of the late 18th century. Could you put up to speed with that?
Yes. So basically, in the late 18th century, during the time of when Europe was also expanding into Africa, Noors were also expanding their territories because being cattle herders, the grazing lands that they were already in, they needed to move into newer ones and have to like shift where they were staying. And so they expanded into like the eastern part of what is now South Sudan, and they took over Anuak territories there. And then there are some who did end up settling right on like the frontier of what we, say is Ethiopia now too. And so that's what really started all like this chaos and like the kind of mistrust between the Anua and Nuer communities. So when that happened, there were Anua people who were forcefully assimilated and turned into Nuer people, the people who were left there, who didn't leave. And so when that happened, there were some Anua people who did come into the Gambella part, and they were living there now. And since then, there are like, we could say that, some people have coexisted, but that's not really the most honest thing to say, just because somebody who's forcefully assimilated and they're at risk of death if they do not become Noor, like that's not really to say, they're coexisting peacefully. But after that happened, when Sudan, split into two and the civil war was happening, a mass, migration happened. No, not all Anuaks lived in South Sudan. They lived in this Anuak territory that is on the border, and it's part of South Sudan and it's part of Ethiopia as well. If you guys don't understand that, you can search it up. That's a thing. But yeah, so basically, Sunni civil war is happening, 1950s, 1960s. People are leaving South Sudan, seeking refuge in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has an open border policy. So now people are settling in Ethiopia. Anuak people have already lived in Ethiopia or have lived in Gambella now for generations. And so them being the host community there, they're welcoming in the Noor community. They're allowing them to graze on their lands for their cattle. And all of a sudden, political power starts to change in Ethiopia. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the structure of the Ethiopian government, but we went from a monarchy to then like a military state during the Derg, and then also the TPLF took over in the 90s. And so Ethiopia was honestly in an unstable place during that time. People were leaving the country, political power was constantly changing. And so with that, one of the things that changed during the 1980s, 1990s is political power was in the hands of the majority. And so with this mass migration of refugees, Nuer refugees coming from South Sudan, they took over political power because the Anuaks at this time were also leaving because tensions were getting high. So they were also going to get refugee camps in Kenya and other places. So a large massacre happened towards the Anuak people. And that's why we say that there's a genocide going on against Anuak people, or G-side. Sorry, I don't want to get this banned. But during that time, G-side happens 2003 to the Anuak people. And a large amount of Anuak people end up leaving Gambella because of this, because they're at risk of losing their lives. And a land grabbing also takes place during this time too. Because basically Anuaks abandoned their position in Gambella, political power shifted to Noors having more of a population in Gambella. And so when they say, we're native here, we've held all these positions, it's not accurate. It's because Anuaks had been leaving at that time, and then the political power in Ethiopia was constantly shifting. It wasn't a very stable situation happening there. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, again, 2013 happened. South Sudan 2011 becomes a recognized state or nation. And then in 2013, situation happens where another migration of Noors occurs because of mass killing, a G-side. And a lot of people again came into Gambella because open border, Ethiopian government allows that. UN sets up more refugee camps for this large amount of people moving into Ethiopia. And so again, political power is in their hands because instead of going through like a regular pathway of citizenship, after a certain time, becoming a refugee is just like a thing of the past, just a memory to them, and they expect and they feel entitled to having political power because of this whole majority versus minority mindset. Yeah, I hope that I explained it in a decent way.
I think there are some questions. I do have a question, but I will first read this. Someone asked, can I ask Achebe if they got connection in South Sudan? I believe there were Anuak in South Sudan as well, and also in Ethiopia. But now the war is more about in Gambella. Did it start in the southern Sudan side and move to Gambella, or did it start on the Ethiopian side?
Yeah, historically, Nuer and Anuak have always been fighting because of this whole land grabbing thing. So I can say that yes, it's always been happening. But what made us be in Ethiopia is because our land was split in half. So you can see majority of Anuak people are in Gambella, and a few of us are in Sudan. So we can literally claim both, but yeah, we're only divided by the river. We're only divided by the land. We're still one people. It's still our land. Even if you look across the whole land of even in South Sudan and in Ethiopia, like every village and every territory is in an Anywaa name. So we're one people. The only thing that separates us again is the land. And between Anuak and Moor, there was a time where they were living at peace. They would come into our lands, like Abang said, and they would, cattle and all those things. And then, of course, like Anuak people are very welcoming. It's not only Nuer that have lived that were welcome to Gambella. Dinkas was also welcome to Gambella. Shilluk was also welcome. It was like a place of refuge where they would come and settle for a while and then go back to their homes. There was even a time during Anyanya one, the Dinkas and the government and the Anuak people actually fought because they came and there was a whole fight, and then they got pushed back to South Sudan. There was even more people who also went back to their village, went back to South Sudan, but some remained. So yeah, it's been if you read historical books, like there's actual books that talk about how even with the kingship, the kings have always been fighting to protecting their land from invasion, which we see not only amongst Nuer people, it's common across the world.
As of this moment, they are not living on the South Sudanese side, or they all moved to Ethiopian side?
No, there's still Anuaks living in South Sudan, like in the Puchala area, and like Adol, you'll find Anuaks there. The Anuak king also is like that's where he stays, and people who are connected to that family, they live there still.
So the attack is not just to the Ethiopian side of the Iraq, it's on both sides.
Yeah, so you see, we have a land, it's a Kobo, and a lot of the Anywaa people, they left because they can't coexist with Nuer people. It's not that we hate them, but it's like their way of living and Anywaa way of living, it doesn't mesh well together. So Anywaa people end up just like leaving, you know what I mean? Because sometimes they're a large group, you know what I mean? So how can you fight off such a large group? So a lot of them end up leaving, and what they usually do is they attack smaller villages where a lot of people can defend themselves, you know what I mean? So even if you look in Gambella right now, the headquarters Pun is where it's the Anuak zone. That's where Anuak people reside. So like that's where we're mainly trying to protect in like those areas, because if they get into Pun, that's basically dismantling the people, because that's the heart of the city. So yeah, there's a Kobo where now the majority of them live. That's in South Sudan, and which a lot of them claim from a Kobo. If you ask them, they say they're from a Kobo. That's what they say, but they're originally from Bantu and all those places.
I understand when there is political instability and tribal attacks in South Sudan, because I believe the government isn't very stable. But on the Ethiopian side, I believe the government is stable. Now, could you tell me why this, when you say we, you mean the Anuak? That means it's a tribe versus a tribe, it's Anuak versus Nuer. Where does the government stand in all this?
You want me to answer or you want to add on?
You can. You have to go. I want to have a little bit of time just to clear up the historical context.
Okay.
And I wanted to answer this question real quick, but actually, if you want to answer the one that KP asked, but Anuak people, they can claim either South Sudan or they can claim Ethiopia because they have a land that is on both sides. For me, I don't claim South Sudan because when I track my lineage and I go back to like 8, 9, 10 ancestors, they all lived in Gambella. So it wouldn't make sense for me to claim South Sudan if there's no actual roots that are there for me. However, I can see some Anuaks will claim it because when like Anuak people or just Luo people in general migrated, like the first migration that split us all up into all these different places, like people in Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia. Some people settled in South Sudan and they stayed there. So they're from there. But for my family, they didn't stay there. They went all the way into Gambella and they settled right along the Ubano River or Baro. I don't like saying that word, but yeah, Ubano River. So my family would claim Ethiopia as our home because Gambella is a part of that. But again, Gambella is where we're from. We won't say we're Habesha, that's wrong. But we're from Gambella. Gambella is a part of Ethiopia. So I hope that answers your question.
I think for most of Ethiopia, to us, Habesha is Ethiopians in general. I know what you mean. You mean the highlanders when you say Habesha. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
but you know, some people they make it like Habesha is synonymous with being Ethiopian. No, being Ethiopian is being part of those 9 regional states. So I won't say I'm Habesha, but I will say I'm Ethiopian because Gambella is a part of Ethiopia.
Yeah, so I just needed to clarify that. From our side, we think of Habesha as, because for example, Swahili, Ethiopia is Uhabeshi, which draws its name from Habesha. So because I've been to Gambella, now I know that when you say Habesha, you mean the Highlanders. And for Kenyans watching this, in Ethiopia, when you refer to the Highlanders, you mean the curly-haired, yeah. Not everyone is, not all of them are light skinned, but yes, that one is the Habesha. And then we have the people in Gambella who are the Luo. And someone asked, and I think Achebe Omot did not answer me, but maybe I'll combine. Someone asked, so you guys abandoned South Sudan because of the Nuer superiority?
No, we didn't. Yeah, Chika, you answer that.
Okay. I think
we did not abandon Sudan because of that. Gambella used to be independent state. It was carried by British and Italian. So by then, that's why we have the name of other parties, Itang. That's is point to like where the Italian was before and the people that they were trading with before. So Anuak people, they already in those areas before Sudan was already become Sudan. And but part of it, we did not abandon. It's just that the colonizer flipped the border through the Nile River. So it's like a divided region between Sudan and Ethiopia. They divided through the Nile River. But we did not run away from those people. It's just that the population of us lived the other side, and that's how it was.
Okay. And almost now you can ask me, where does the government of Ethiopia sit on this? Because I believe in a country with a stable government, it doesn't take the refugees to call the shots. Umut.
Joyce, let Joyce answer.
Okay.
Let Sister Joyce.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, when we mention refugees, sometime refugees are not the only one. They are just helping the brothers who claim were recognized by Ethiopia and given their citizenship. So it just refugees as had themselves to the issue. So that's why when we pointed on the refugee wasn't only the refugee was the issue. The Nuer who are living there as well are the problem as well. So it is really it's really difficult to see, because what happened in Gambella, the reason the government cannot get control of it is like this. When Nuer commit, I said it at a time, when Nuer commit crime, he will claim he's Ethiopian, and the law should look into it. But when the Nuer was also another revenge, is the refugee was killed from South Sudan. That is a play card, and you know that refugees are under protection of UN, and the government cannot do anything because they will look in it, and then they can't do anything because they get paid. These are people welcome; they are getting benefit from it, and you know those African leaders too. So this is what we are facing as Africa. Sometimes they will see the problem, but to look into the problem to solve it, they will just leave it as long as it's benefiting some of the people. So the issue of Gambella was just left to happen because there's people beneficiary from this atrocity happening to Anywaa. Because how come? It's like when we say refugees, people would think that we are against people who are refugees. This is not the message here. It's the way the government, there's no control between refugees and the host community. Refugees were put between village of other people. Sometimes that's why it's bring all these cases for years. If like the refugees were put like the way it's happening in Kenya, like I know in Uganda there's a problem between Ugandan as well and the refugees as well in Uganda. So there's a problem there also. It wasn't only the problem in Gambella, but because in Uganda they deal with it in a way which you can understand that you guys don't mess with the host community and the citizen here. You come for refuge, stay away from catching problems. And that's what it's
Katie, my brother, Katie, can I say something a little bit?
Yes.
Just wait yourself. Wait first. Your time will come because you're making a lot of. No, he making a lot of noise there on the comment. You know, you don't know well. You claim you are totally as well.
Yeah,
and you should listen to us. We never like rejected South Sudanese. I never rejected them being South Sudanese. You know, I'm not happy. Even I come here. It's good even you are here. So come with your thing, and I don't know why also you are against your fellow people. For no reason.
So DP,
anyway,
when you get your chance,
you
just get to ask your question.
On that part, yes, the government is taking, okay, the question, I'm going to the question to answer, the government is taking control of everything. That's why you see things coming down. So there is a little bit control. They bring a more army to control the situation. Some are sent to the village where a lot of things are happening there. So it's more like a curve. But the problem now, the situation of Gambella is not like it will come, but it will come back again. This is that we had enough, as we said enough. If the government can move the refugees from Anywaa land and put it somewhere, we are fine. You know, Gambella is not the only place government of Ethiopia will be using for years. You know, so it will for years. So there's all a part of Ethiopia. Look, the refugee can cause problem with other part of the region. Only particular Nuer will say we want to go back to Gambella. Like 2 days ago, some are brought. You know, from other side of Ethiopia also, because there are a lot of occasions there, there's a lot of fight there. So they have to be brought back to Gambella. And we, the Anywaa, everything fall on us. Because we are the host community. These people live surrounding our villages, our road, our everywhere. We are the one paying carrying all the pain, the suffering of the atrocities they are causing us. But we have nobody to cry to. The government wasn't listening because he's beneficiary from the refugees. And the refugees are crying to UN and crying for everybody to listen to them. You see, what is our point here? That's why we said enough. These people should be relocated somewhere. We are not against anybody. You can be a refugee. Refugee is not something somebody decided. But if you are refugees who don't follow the law, you don't know the reason why you reach to some level to other place, that's why we said enough. And then to these people, then the government can locate these people somewhere. It's not like we are out of this problem. We are still in because you don't know what will happen tomorrow. And then this year, what make it worse? Yeah, you hear more about it is because it's happened in the Gambella town, where all the citizens from all the nations all across Ethiopia were living. That's where the fight took place. Bullet and destroying of the property. And people was killed. And all the people were born inside the house. And it's getting out of the hands. More than some years, it can happen in the village and all these things. So this is our message here. We are not like a bias or say the word. We are saying our facts. We are not people, Luo people are not noise makers too much. We can't be going around. We are not this kind of people. But when we speak the truth, come from the pain. We are not like a noise maker come to lie here to say that this community is this. No. Because in our life, we never invented, we even hated going somewhere to another person's land because we believe where our home, that is the home. When you move, that is our side. We don't feel comfortable. So, but when our life gets threatened in it, that's why we are, talking about what is happening to us. It's not like we are against anybody or they don't want to be called South Sudanese. I know South Sudan, proudly, they always, wherever they are going, they are South Sudanese. There's nothing special about being Ethiopian. But the problem, there's something so special being Anywaa, in Anywaa land. You see? We are not only talking because of Ethiopia part. What is their Ethiopia? Other Ethiopia live in their own territory. The most important thing is the land we live in. That's what making us as Anywaa. And that's what we are talking about it. There's nothing about the country. What did Ethiopia give to us? But there's something Anewaa land give to us. So that's my point here. So I'll just leave it there and give a chance to other people.
Yeah, I think that answers you, unless you have a question. I think you asked why they claim much to be Ethiopian than Sudanese. But I believe I have had a discussion with an Anuak from South Sudan and also an Anuak from Ethiopia. So I think it's an Anuak invasion and not just Ethiopian invasion.
Yeah, and KP, I'm easy, but I'm sorry, I can say something very few. I think my sister, Joyce, she gave me too much emotion, and we don't need that.
Yeah, because when someone is affected directly, we don't go so much onto them. We can ask our questions, but we also have to remember that they are affected directly, so emotions might fly.
But no worries. But I want to say it's a fact, and it was facts, and the facts always remain facts. Like like me, I follow Kenyan politics. They say the numbers matters, whatever what to say, it matters. So the truth is though, like I live with three Anuaks. None of them they do not say they are from South Sudan. And like today, when I was asking a question there in the comment section, because it's a fact anyways, whether you like it or not, it's the truth. Most of the Anuak, they do not claim or say they are from South Sudan. Like most of them say that they're Ethiopians, and the truth must be told. So how come they like the so-called Akobo in South Sudan, like they say they are land, but I didn't even see none of them like they say are from Akobo from South Sudan. Like most of them, they say they are from Ethiopia. I don't understand, like, why are they so obsessed with Ethiopia? Like me, I am from South Sudan. Let me finish. I am from South Sudan. I came to Uganda when I was like 2-3 years old. I went from primary 1 up to senior 6. You know senior 6. In Kenya, you don't have senior 6. That's A level. All my life in Uganda, and I still claim as a South Sudanese, but I live in Uganda all my life. I'm a South Sudanese, but my education and before I came outside from Africa, I'm still remained as a South Sudanese. So, but with the Anuak people, they are two-legged people. Like we don't know who they are. That is it's so painful. Anyway, thank you. Finish my point.
Okay. Before an Anuak jumps in, I would like to say that I think there are some Anuak in Ethiopia for sure, but I know their king is based in South Sudan. So I think this is a good evidence that they don't only claim the Ethiopian side. Because could you mute no narrative? So the fact that the king of the Anuak is based on the South Sudanese side isn't enough evidence. Plus, maybe it's not important whether this discussion is more about do you love Ethiopia, do you love South Sudan? We have Luo of Kenya and Luo of Tanzania speaking the same language. I think what's important is that there is an attack, and what is it about this attack? How can it be made better, as opposed to where do they live? But at least I know the king lives in South Sudan and Anuak, and also the coordinator on the ground for the Anuak, because I've been trying to go back and do a documentary on the Anuak, and my right hand man side on the ground, my coordinator is in Anuak from the South Sudanese side. But I'll let the Anywaa speak for themselves, just in case anyone has a direct answer to that.
So let me answer him for really quick. You know, as an example, you can.
Can I say one point before you go, my brother? One only, just will not take a second. Yeah, I don't know where he made some Anywaa claim who say they are from Ethiopia, but from my knowledge, the reason most of in East Africa, both like Uganda, Kenya, or some area where you find a lot of Anywaa, most of them are the ones free the genocide of 2003. So that's why the first time the number of Anywaa are coming across of East Africa. So if you meet them and they say that they are Ethiopian, you have to believe them because it's true. Because that's the genesis make a lot of Anywaa in a big number coming across of East Africa. And then that maybe give you opportunity to meet a lot of them to say they are not claiming, they are telling you the truth. So that's where, yeah.
So then, so mine is, you know, we're gonna talk about how the city is, or where the, like in Sudan side, we only have like 3 to 4 village. So 3 to 4 villages, village is not a city. It's just a village, small villages. So
no, it's not like that, Simon. You're too young. Yeah, leave it.
No, just let me explain.
No. You leave it there. You don't say the South Sudan side is not only a village.
No, the side that was left in, it was not bigger than the side that was left in Gambella. So just listen first to what I was trying to explain. So the side that was left in South Sudan is not bigger than the side that was left in Ethiopia side. So the majority of Anuak, they are in Ethiopia side. So the most of them that he saw is, like Joyce said, is the one that ran out from genocide 2003, December 13. So those Anuak, they ran out, but there's Anuak in South Sudan, which they did not run out, because when the South Sudan became independent, they were there, they're still there. But the one that right now are outside is the Anuak from Ethiopia, the one that ran out from genocide. And that's what Joyce said.
Joyce, you want a disagreement, huh?
Yeah, Joy has a disagreement with me saying
no, but because he said it like it's a smaller village, because the only part of South Sudan who are occupied now by Nuer, which is Akobo, the guy there mentioned, because I think he heard a lot of these Akobo from Nuer people. He wasn't maybe new from this case. That side wasn't that small. It's a lot of villages. It's like a big town. But because this is happening, this in 80. So when in South Sudan go to war, and those Anywaa people were start attacking them, and they're getting out of the hand because there's no government in the place. So a lot of them leave to go for refuge. And because there's no government, these people are in a guerrilla, they are not recognized as a country. There's nobody to look into this case. So those Anywaa move. That's why today Akobo in South Sudan is occupied by Nuer, but it's not that small section. Akobo, if you look in the map, Akobo is very big. And it has a lot of villagers of Anywaa who lived there before the Nuer migrated to Akobo at the time. So Akobo was a town, even some of the county of Nuer were under Akobo. So Akobo was in a smaller, and my brother here is young, but also I just want to clarify those sides. But the side of South Sudan, let me clear this part, it's not that small. The South Sudanese Anywaa also are big in number. So we can't be saying that it's smaller, but it's because there's a lot of places. It's now, the part, if you look, is under the Bibur administration. So if somebody can look, you can see that the Anuak and their own land also, if you look at the map, it's not that small. And there's Anuak of South Sudan, still as you can see today, yesterday. Anyway, let me not go there. I'm gonna look for it. Maybe later on I will come with it. So that is what I will say. But I've already answered to my brother to know that there's nowhere Anywaa were claiming Ethiopian only. Just you never met the South Sudanese one, and the South Sudanese. If you see the two Anywaa boy who is in the basketball team who are playing for South Sudan, those are South Sudanese Anywaa. So why, if they can, and some of them who are in most of Anywaa in America, those who went a long time ago in 80s and 90s, those are South Sudanese Anywaa as well. So people should keep in mind, there's no shame in being a South Sudanese if you are as Anywaa. But our problem is not about being Ethiopian. It's our land, people coming by using their number to occupy our land by force. That is our worst people.
Joyce, you didn't answer my question. My question was very clear. You Ethiopians or the Anywaa people, like everybody want to be like Ethiopian. What is so good about Ethiopia? Like you guys.
That is wrong. That is wrong of you as an old man to just say like that. I'm not gonna allow this man to be putting it like that. There's nothing wrong to be Ethiopian or whatever it is. I don't know where this man is taking this medicine from.
Joyce, I think I have to step in.
Please.
I have to step in.
This show is not for you, not for Acholi, but it's not Acholi. If you are Nuer, just come and tell us if you are Nuer so we can debate. You are Acholi is shame. Let Nuer come and debate.
Joyce, calm down. Deep celebrity, I think there could be a possibility that the Anuak want to feel more Ethiopian than South Sudanese. But the issue we're discussing tonight is the war between the Nuer and the Anuak. And just to jump in, I don't think anyone speaking here has not said that they disown their South Sudanese side. They just happen because if you're a Anuak, you can't be born on the South Sudanese side or the Ethiopian side. It happens with most other tribes. Acholi can be Acholi of South Sudan and can be Acholi of Uganda. I think the most important thing here is being an Anuak, not being an Anuak on the Ethiopia side or South Sudanese side, because being an Anuak is an older identity compared to being Ethiopian or being South Sudanese. So I think we have to try to shake off the unnecessary details. For example, myself, I'm not sure if I feel Ugandan or South Sudanese or Ethiopian or Kenyan or Tanzanian, because in each of these countries, when I go, I find people who speak the language that I do. So to me, I represent being Luo more than I represent being Kenyan, at least in this platform, right? So I don't think we should have an attack on why do you feel South Sudanese more or why do you feel Ethiopian more. I think this is a discussion for another day, but so far, I don't think there's any Anuak in this live who are saying that they feel more South Sudanese. And I've told you before, when the Anuak were having a ceremony for their king, their new king, the ceremony took place on the South Sudanese side. So I think this is enough credit to their South Sudanese-ness. So being an Anuak transpasses the national border. And the Anuak of Ethiopia acknowledges if there's a king from the Anuak of South Sudan. That means, in their viewpoint, being an Anuak is more important than national identity, whether you're Ethiopian or South Sudanese. So I don't think there's anyone who has defended being Ethiopian more than being South Sudanese. You possibly have met Anuak who believe they are more South Sudanese, but I have also met Anuak who introduce themselves as being from South Sudan and not being from Ethiopia. I'm not sure if that answers you, but in case it doesn't, this is a different topic from what we're discussing tonight. And if we mix them, then we're just going to fight and we will not have discussed what we're supposed to discuss. I'm not sure if that answers your
hallelujah.
Yeah.
Let me speak.
Yeah, keep it short.
Let us give another thing from the real topics.
Mm-hmm.
And now from Ethiopia, they are Ethiopians by identity, but they are by origin they are Luo. So I don't feel good I don't feel good more than being Uganda, but I feel good more than being a Luo guy. So there's no meaning of Uganda. So just leave that issues away. Let us talk the main point. So the main point, you see, these people, the way they behave sometimes even is very difficult to handle them. Like in Uganda here, these people when they come here, the way they behave. But for us, we know how to handle them because we are humble and we speak in a good manner. Then they can learn how to live in the community. We give land to this refugee from South Sudan also. I think they are Dinka and we also, then some of them, they are Chule also. They're living there. Most of you people, you know where these people are living, that side of northern Uganda. But those people within the town, the way they behave is not good. And sometimes we want them through radio station. We want them and we give warning to every LC1 in the community to deal with them according to the law of Uganda. I thank that the government of Uganda is a good government. If not, actually also there was going to suffering. But in Uganda, these people, they learn a lot. They learn how is life. And when you did something wrong, we just put you in the jail. We don't care. So this is how government of Ethiopia must deal with the refugee in the camp. When you are a refugee, you don't have authority on that land. You just settle, and if the government can give a timeline, but you cannot say just leave. But the main point is government, not civilian in the community. The main point is government. Government must know how to handle refugees in their country. But you will never hear just kind of thing in Uganda or in Acholi land. We are living peacefully with Dinka. We are friendly because of law. So thank you.
Okay. And before anyone speaks, I would like to clarify that the host is not Nuer. And I'm not biased. I said Nuer invasion because I believe the war is on the Anuak land. So then whoever came becomes the invader. And again, from the names, I cannot tell who is Nuer. So if you know the Nuer person, here, let them send the invite and I will accept them to hear their side of the story. So we're not trying to be biased. We're trying to have the story from both sides. So if the Nuer have joined,
there's a girl called UN. She's Nuer. You can invite her.
Oh, okay.
And you can ask some questions so she can answer it.
Okay. So if there's any Nuer on YouTube or on TikTok, send me an invite. I think I will accept this UN. I'm not sure if there's in Nuer, but let's remember that we keep it meaningful. So we fight less. We have the points more. I think UN, if you Nuer, the floor is yours. You can give us the perspective from the Nuer.
Actually, I have a question for you before. Okay. You said you're Acholi, right?
Me? No, I'm not Acholi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you said that you call it a Nuer invasion because from your perspective, Nuer people invaded. What is your evidence of that? Do you have evidence that Nuer people invaded?
I believe Gambella as a town or as a region is for the Anuak. So if there's a war going on in Gambella, then I believe.
So let me rephrase my question. I didn't ask for your belief. I asked for evidence because you can't dismiss people's indigeneity based on your belief. Okay. You can't say that they invaded some.
Let me clarify something.
No, I just want to explain. A belief is very different than evidence. So a belief is different than evidence. You cannot tell me that. Let me explain. You just said. I'm confused.
You don't set the standard.
I'm not setting the standards. I'm explaining people the difference in what you're saying.
The reason why I bring you up is so that you can explain to me I'm Kenyan. I'm not Ethiopian. I'm not South Sudanese. I'm not Nuer. I'm not Anywaa.
No,
But
that's
when you say
fine.
what,
But we're going based on an opinion you made.
explain.
I'm asking you a question about an opinion
Okay,
you
you are
made.
trying to answer you, but
know
you're
the
like,
truth. You know the truth.
No, he's telling
So
me that I can't ask him a question.
you can
That's
ask
what
me
he's
why
telling me.
you
And he's
can't.
saying I'm dictating. I'm not
Yeah,
dictating. I'm actually asking you,
okay.
where are
If
you
you're not
getting
dictating,
your
then we
evidence to insinuate the opinion that you have, especially the fact that you're not Nuer or Anuak. If you're not Nuer or Anuak, you don't know the basis of who's indigenous, right? So you need the evidence. You need evidence to back up your
Give my evidence that show that you are from
No, I'm asking. Okay, he already made.
Can we have order? Can we have order? Can we have order?
Maybe that's how they behave. That's how they behave.
Before we
They're
speak,
animals.
we are here to have a meaningful conversation.
So,
Okay? So
he
where
just
I
called me an
get
animal.
wrong,
He just called me an animal.
listen, you. The reason why I did it Anuak and Nuer here is because I believe I don't have a better perspective because I'm not involved. I'm Kenyan. So if I get something wrong, the reason why I invited Nuer to join is to clear what's wrong, not to fight me. I may be wrong because I don't belong to either of the two. So you're supposed to tell me.
But I'm not fighting you. I'm simply asking you where did you get the literally, this is the basis of a debate, right? When you make an opinion, you have to back up your opinion. You made an opinion.
Okay.
You went.
Okay.
Let me.
You know, okay.
I have the evidence. You listen, I have the evidence. So keep quiet.
Okay.
I'm the one saying that why I invaded land. I have the evidence. Okay?
Joyce.
You want to talk to me.
Joyce. I want us to have a decorum.
The best evidence, George,
I want us to
he
have
already did his research.
Calm down. I want us to keep emotions low. The reason why I need an Anuak and Nuer is because I believe we have to hear from both sides, right? And Anuak might say something that Nuer does not believe is true. Nuer will say something that Anuak does not believe is true. If we start fighting each other, then we have no conversation. We're just school kids running on emotions. So if I say something, I give you an evidence. If my evidence does not meet the water for you, does not look convincing, your role is to give me your perspective as Nuer. For example, Nuer did not invade because of this. But if we start fighting, then we don't have.
Hey, Pete, that's where the problem is. You made a state. You literally, I don't understand. You made an opinion. What was your opinion? You said that Nuer people invaded, and you said that you believe that it was Anuak land and that Nuer people invaded. So you cannot make a statement off of belief. Belief is a big figment of your imagination. You can make a statement. Let me finish. What's going on? Are you guys gonna let me talk or what?
Because you just
while I'm speaking. Okay, at least hear me, and then you can rebuttal.
Correct.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
That's how that works. Okay, perfect. I'm insinuating. Oh my God. Okay. You're not gonna police how I speak.
I will police.
If you don't want me to.
I host this. I police the Anuak also.
So you can. No, you didn't actually.
I do.
You did not do that.
I police.
You allowed them to speak. You allowed them. You didn't interrupt them.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Speak.
Thank you. So yeah, it's very problematic to have an opinion without a base, especially that your opinion was biased. You said that Nuer people invaded and you didn't give any proper evidence, nor did you back up the opinion. You said your opinion is based on your own sole belief. That belief doesn't have any actual documentation. That's why I have a problem with it. And that's why I said it's biased. That's why I asked you that question, because I wanted to ask you, for you to, I don't understand. So you said the floor is mine, but you're still, wow. Anyways, I want you guys to look up the 1902, and Sims, you know this treaty. The 1902 treaty between the British Sudan and Gambella, in Ethiopia. That is when Gambella was made a region. So before then, Gambella was just a place that people lived in. The 1902 treaty is what made it an actual region.
Who were the people who lived in?
Oh,
you have to explain everything. See, the people
I'm explaining the treaty.
Okay.
But Sims, how long have we been having this conversation? I have literally pointed this treaty out to you multiple times. Because the problem is, right?
There's nothing wrong with treaty.
Hold on, let me
treaty as intentional.
Please stop it.
It is immigrant.
Silence, let us speak.
You can't be a native if you migrated from somewhere. You can't be a native.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that we want to talk about. That you cannot be a native if you migrate from somewhere else. But they have a treaty. Yes.
Let us.
So will I finish? Will I be allowed to speak in this live? If not, I can leave. I don't need to talk to you guys if you guys are not.
You will go. The life is yours. You're the UN. Let's go.
KP, you see how this how sorcery is.
Celebrity, sir. Don't call me an animal. Okay? Relax. I'm trying to present information and you're calling me an animal.
You might be one of them because we don't know where.
So if I call you an animal, what's going to happen then? If I call you the same thing you called me, what's going to happen then?
Because you guys are
right.
And your mind doesn't.
So where's the policing, host? I thought you said you're policing on jobs. Where's the policing? You're not policing any of these people that are interrupting me. I'm the only Nuer person here, and I can't finish. I cannot finish.
Okay.
Wow.
You win.
I love to see it.
I am, and I do not subscribe to Nuer.
Listen, if
police officer can only police UN, can only police US. I love to see it. This guy called me an animal. He called me all these names. Interesting.
Listen, everyone. I just disconnected both this celebrity and UN. I want us to have a decorum. We're not here to fight. We're here to discuss. So if you have an opposing opinion, it's better to wait for the person to finish and then we ask the questions. And also when someone says something that's against you, if you shout, then you only rage baiting. You're not explaining anything. If you disagree with an opinion, it's in order to explain the correct version of the history or the war of the reality, instead of attacking the other person. Otherwise, it's just a war. And I want the facts.
Okay, bring Emmanuel up. You bring Emmanuel.
Can I state it on what she was mentioned because she was talking about it.
I will try to bring her back.
1902.
Yeah, you went. Send me the invite. I will accept you back.
She thinks she have the evidence, but me, I have the evidence. The treaty wasn't made between Nuer. This is the Anywaa name was there to be said, which lead to city of Anewaa raising one. You see, it's a lot. I have the evidence. Let her come. It's just a problem, yeah. I don't want to tell you not to bring her because this is your show. I'm familiar with this girl called UN. UN always, even if you go to our show, she will talk over you, she'll meet you.
So is Joyce here to talk about me, or is she here to talk about the
you don't know how to debate, you don't know how to put your word, you just jumping because you think by raising your voice and screaming on people, that's how
then we give the floor to you. So
Joyce, she's talking about me, and you said we can't talk about the people, and we have to make our case. And they're all talking about me and their personal feelings about me.
So can we all agree? Joyce, listen. Can we all agree that we don't have to talk over each other? We don't have to attack each other personally if you know each other in person. Okay, I don't know anyone in person here. Let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it professional. Let's keep it logical. If one person is speaking, let them speak to the end and then ask your questions with the right tone. So Joyce, you continue until you're done, and then you will pick up and you will continue until you're done. Nobody should interrupt.
Also, let other Nuers come. There's like 3 Anuaks and 4 Luos. That would be great. Yes, you're leaving me with like 5 other people that will interrupt me every 2 seconds.
I don't know the Nuer when I look at their names. Tell them to send
there's a guest list. Look at your guest list and allow the person to come up and they will introduce themselves.
Let me tell you.
Simple.
That's
what you do when you have a live.
I have 20 people in my guest list. Should I accept everyone? How am I supposed to guess who is Nuer and who is not? So let them write them information here, and I can
just let the people up. If they're requesting clearly, they want to have the conversation. What's the problem with that? How do you host a live and you don't want to let people to come up?
You win.
But
just say the name. Just say the name. So
I don't know the names, you guys. You're a random person who hosted a live. You expect me to know every person that's coming to request, but you should allow people if they're requesting clearly they want to talk.
problem. You have all.
When I dropped you,
Don't bring her up, please.
You are
you prepare, just bring another girl, not her.
I'm not biased. I asked it for a whole week that I needed Nuer and Anuak. I wouldn't lead them.
We have any more here, just
if
please.
you're coming to fight, then I won't allow you. I want a Nuer who will just explain what she feels or he feels is wrong in a nice, professional way without fighting. I'm the host here. I detect the tone for both sides. I can bring you up, I can drop you, but I want us to be professional. We are adults and we are here to discuss something professional. Let's keep it logical.
Bring Jinon.
Yes. Okay.
I think that lady that the UNC got a little bit offended or whatever they were discussing, but I think you should also know how ladies talk. You know, ladies, they talk with emotions. Like, I think she thought she was the only Nuer online, like maybe she was being attacked by the so-called Anywaa people or whatever. Yeah, but at least I've seen in the comment section there's another.
You also can you keep quiet?
Let me say again.
If you know name of any Nuer on the list, I can bring them because I have so many people here requesting to join. And I can't. I don't know which one is Nuer and which is not. So if
you have see in the comment section, there was one lady posted there. She's a Nuer, so maybe you can bring her up. Thank you.
Okay.
Jinon is I don't know. Jinon.
Yes, but the conversation is getting heated, so I request that we keep emotions off and we just have the logical part. I don't see Jeanine on the list.
Check my comment.
Okay. So there are like 100 comments.
Julio, did you see what was on my screen early when I went to live? That is the treating that she was talking about. If you read the treating, you will learn about it. But it was on my live early. I put it on the screen, and I don't know what she was trying to prove like that.
Okay, I don't seem to see your comment. Unfortunately, there are so many comments. I think there are over 100 now. Oh, okay. I see.
What you do, if there's some requests, bring them. If they are following Nuer, then you will tell them because you just minimum you're looking for Nuer. Just bring some people because there's 3 seats here. Yeah, there's a 3 empty seats also.
Katie, if there's nobody coming, I want to engage this Joyce because like I really need to ask a lot of questions about
please, this live show is not between Acholi and Anywaa. Could you keep it there? No. It's not also a South Sudanese politics here, okay? Keep it there.
Keep quiet for a second.
Say you are Barajwak. This is not a case for Barajwak or whatever. This is Anywaa.
It's not para, it's Pajok. But can you keep quiet for a second, please? And thank you for that.
What bring you here even you are not Anywaa? Why are you here? What are your points? What are you here?
He's Luo.
He's a noise maker. Just coming with
I am a Luo, and
the show is not about Luo today. Okay? It's Anywaa. What happened? Listen.
Any question?
No, just forget about it.
Come for me on Monday. Come for me on Monday here, so we discuss the Luo issue.
Plus, any question should be directed to me, not to anyone, any guest, so that we can utilize the emotions. And we should also not deviate a lot. So, DP, Celebrity, if you have a question, you should ask me. And
that's what I was asking, though. I was asking you. I didn't ask Joyce personally. No, I was asking you as the host of the show. So I know, like, because like, as I mentioned earlier in my comment section, I think maybe it got them so bad. But, you know, the truth must be told. Whether they like it or not, yes, we are all wars. But war, we know all where we came from. some law came from whatever Ethiopia, whatever. But like me, I am proud to be an Acholi. I live in Uganda all my life. I went to primary 1 up to senior 6, and I did my senior 4 in Atapara SS and my A level. So, anyways, the fact is, I cannot deny where I come from. But the honest truth, I don't know if you guys being honest. The Anewaa or the Anuak or whatever they call themselves, I know they are part of us. They are not truth up to date. They are not truth. Well, if they don't recognize themselves as sorcerers or war,
DP, can you stop that? Can you stop that?
You see, this guy will change all
No, guys, just let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk.
This guy has something.
One second.
Let him talk.
One second, only. Just 1 second, only.
Yes,
thank you.
1 second, and then we have a different person. Yamal wrote. For some reason, I thought the wrote was a Luo name. That's why I did not add you. Sorry. Can you and then I will go to Yamal wrote.
Yeah, only 1 second. Yeah, my point, like you guys are Nuer people, you be clear. If you are sorcerers or you are Ethiopian, be clear.
They are both. DP celebrity, they are both. We are not discussing South Sudan versus Ethiopia. They are both. They are on both sides. Acholi can be in South Sudan, Acholi can be in Uganda, but that does not limit their Acholiness. So I think this should not be a big issue. If it is, it's a different discussion for tonight. Nyamal wrote, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for having me. So I was tuning in a little bit ago, and I realized there was such a lot of things happening. Unfortunately, I'm sad to see UN go, because I think that if she was to finish her point of view and what she was explaining, it would bring a lot of the questions that you both have answered, right? So, but if it's not working out, it's fine. I'm happy to step in and share my knowledge as well. So I think the question was, or what you wanted to clarify is who was in the land, in the Gambella region land first, correct? Okay, so with that said, like what UN was trying to talk about is there was a treaty, because it was just Sudan and then Ethiopia, which was never colonized. So that treaty actually give British Empire to left that region alone. But like 1902, if you look at who was already in the land, Nuer people were actually on the land, because even if you do your research, it'll show that Nuer people actually made their way into that region, like in 1850. No, 1948 is like really close to independence. They actually started going toward that direction in the 1800s. It's 1900, but like 1850s to 1860s, you'll see Nuer people settling in that land. So it depends on who you ask, really, because some of the elders would even say that, if anything, you would consider Anuak people as the refugees, because Anuak Anuak people were actually settling in Akoba and Nasser at that point, and then Nuer people actually started coming even more toward that direction. But they were so far out to the Gambella region already when the Anuak people were kind of uprooted in those regions that are Nuer land today. I'm not saying that Anuak people were not forced out of their land. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying that if we're talking about Gambella in general, it seems like Nuer actually settled there before the Anuak came, because they were uprooted in Akoba. So this is like 1850s, 1860s. You'll find evidence and writing that dates Nuer all the way back then to that region. So the question is it Ethiopia or is it South Sudan? Today, it goes back to the treaty that UN was trying to talk about, because it was kind of left unchecked, and then it was given to Ethiopia later on because I think it was like a trade-off for some other part of Ethiopia that was given to Sudan by al-Bashir. So that's like a newer claim, right? So if we're talking about just the people that's been in that land, both Anuak and Nuer has been occupying that land as far back as 1850s to 1860s. So I really think that even the conflicts that's happening today, it's unnecessary because they've been living side by side for a very long time. And there's Nuer that are South Sudanese, and there's Nuer that do now identify as Ethiopian because that's their land. That's all they know. Their great-grandfathers were born in that land. So it's crazy when Anuak people say that all Nuer are refugees, because that statement is just false. Just like all Anuak are not Ethiopian. There's Anuak that are Sudanese, South Sudanese. There's Anuak that are Ethiopian. The same for Nuer people. So if we're coming to the matter of today, the conflict really is starting because there's been like, I can date back. I lived in both regions. I lived in South Sudan. I'm South Sudanese. I was born in South Sudan, but I was raised in Ethiopia like many of us because of the civil war, right? Like someone can be raised in Kenya because of the civil war or Kampala. But even I have firsthand experience, like just like the terrorizing that goes on between, I would say maybe both communities, because I don't know how the Anuak feel, so I can't just be one-sided, right? But at least for the Nuer community, I've seen the terrorists, there's like, you would travel within cities where buses are stopped and like women and children are executed. Like that's been like a reality for a very long time now. And then that just kind of led up to what led to the Gambella conflict today. So like this happened, and like if you could leave from Yitam to Gambella, it's such a short distance, like matter of 30 minutes. And then between that area, there's like a town that's owned by Anuak, and they stop buses all the time and kill civilians. So that, or you can leave from Pinyuduk, which is another refugee camp, coming to Gambella, which is a longer distance, and the same thing would happen. It was on and off for a very long time, and things just escalated. And just because you're refugees, whether you are Nuer who's refugees or you are Nuer who's a citizen of Ethiopia, no one should take your life because of that. Period. Like no one should be executed because they are refugees, or no one should be executed because they are citizens of Ethiopia. Like that shouldn't even happen. Or no one should just be targeted because they are Nuer. That's the problem that's happening today, and it escalated to what it is currently. Overall, things are calming down, and that's what we want, because we don't want war. When war happens, no one wins. But the questions of like the statement of all North are refugees is very, very false, and that narrative hurts both parties because it's going to hurt Nuer people, and it's going to also backfire on the Anuak community as well, right? Because when Nuer youth retaliate toward that, the people dies. So I just want to point out those points that like you can't solely say that this land belonged to this person because they've been living side by side for a very long time, like generations now. So that's what I want to add on to it.
Thank you so much. I would like to clarify to you. You asked how did I know the Anuak people and other. It's because I've had other lives before and I know them from that life, so I know that they are Anuak. But for sure, I have no problem adding Nuer here. We have to keep it professional. Thanks, Nyamal, what you explained yourself without getting emotional. And that's exactly what I wanted you to do. You might have two very good points, but if you go after every comment, then you deviate and then it becomes a rant and not a presentation. So I did not drop you because I don't like the Nuer, and I'm not taking sides. Actually, in my mind, I think of Nuer and Dinka as our cousins because we're super close. You can even see your name, Nyamal Ruot. I registered it as a Luo name. That's why I did not add you, because I thought so many Anuak are already here. So if there's any other Nuer who wants to join, you can, maybe if Nyamal, if you know them, you can tell me and then I will add them. But let's keep it professional and not ranting, not getting emotional. So I believe someone has a question for Ruot, Nyamal. But before then, I would ask you, Nyamal, if the land that I claim, I think is Anuak land, belonged to the Nuer. But now it's 2026. I think the era of getting new land, or I'm Kenyan, I came from South Sudan, I know for sure, but I can't go back to Bar al Ghazal and say, listen, my ancestors came from here, so this is my land. I think the time, the era of conquering and claiming land is done. Can't we just live in the region we are in without necessarily trying to fight to reclaim more?
Absolutely. So that's exactly the same thing. So, as I mentioned earlier, that like the land that a lot of North people do occupies right now, they made their way up like later on with whatever migration that was going on with all the Nilotic people. So, like Akuba, it would be like it's impossible for Anuak to go back and say, give me back my land. Just like you were doing that, it's impossible for you to go back to South Sudan and be like, hey, this is my land, but I'm Kenyan. You know what I mean? So that's exactly the same narrative here. So I do want to highlight that because it's statistically there. It's just that land conquering has ended. But the people of Gambella are not trying to conquer anything. So these are people that's been occupying it. What the issue is that there's a big number of Nuer people who are refugees, and I think this is just an opinion. So there might be a fear, and then the Anuak people can clarify that there might be a fear that more land might be taken, but clearly that hasn't been the case because these people are in the refugees camp, which is hosted by the country of Ethiopia. So if they have an issue, then they have to go to the country of Ethiopia. And the Ethiopian government hasn't, I haven't heard of any land that's occupied by Anuak right now that like they have been moved out of it because of the refugees. It seems like they're finding like new places that are not occupied at all. Like even the newer refugees camp are in the middle of nowhere, like near the mountains, you know, because I personally have visited since I have family. Most of my family do reside in Ethiopia, so I'm well aware of the area and where people are located. But overall, like this does not give the Anuak people the right to murder people because those people that are being killed too is not just limited to the people that are travelers. It's even within the Gambella town itself, you know. It's just been causing, but overall, you guys, to be honest, I think the government has a lot to do with it because if they were holding those people accountable and then things wouldn't escalate to where they are today, it's because those youth that do commit this crime, they're not being held accountable. That's my personal opinion as well.
Okay. Now, questions
Yes, I got a question.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is, you know, the Anua people that the Nuer, I believe you are Nuer, and you guys took advantage and grabbing their lands, and they are being forced to go to Ethiopia, and they are claiming to be Ethiopians. So, is that fair enough for you guys to do that? So, and if it's not fair, why would you guys stay in your land and just focus on your issues instead of grabbing people's land?
Okay. I need you to clarify which land are grabbed. Are you talking about historically land grabbing, or as of today, which Nuer is grabbing your land? Because I need to identify which land you're referring to.
I am talking about the Anuak lands.
Now, the one you say Akobo.
Yes, Akobo may be one of them. Yeah. And now there's like all the Anua people, they say they don't belong to South Sudan. So like you know, like
that's not a true statement though. Not all Anua don't say they don't belong to South Sudan.
It is. There is no. I never met any Anua people who say from South Sudan because you guys were.
So just because you haven't met someone that's from South Sudan, they don't know Anua in South Sudan.
Allow me to intervene. Allow me to intervene. I think we already asked South Sudan versus Ethiopia. I think we should be talking towards a solution. And there are some issues that are side issues, like this one. So I think we don't need to corner each other. We just need to present our logical points. And that would be helpful than fighting. I think the Anuak are on both South Sudanese side and Ethiopian side. And now there's a claim that the Nuer are native to both, which is new to me because I thought Nuer were native to South Sudan. So let's keep it constructive and not going for each other's jugular,
Okay, yeah, thank you. I would like to answer your questions, but if you are asking why our great-great-grandfather grabbed lands, it's kind of like a question that's impossible to answer now because they probably needed a region to settle in. But I know it's a very much so Nuer culture when they settle into a place. It could be easier for other people to be marginalized into Nuer culture. Not so much in a negative way, but it's because like Nuer people extend themselves to like I guess to be one with the other culture. And most time, Nuer culture in history has dominated.
Sorry to interrupt you. Could you please give it to Anuak tools because the historical Nyama when about it, we have to correct some point there because the other part she said that is our own version and what she believes as a Nuer person or where she get her information. But we also, the Anywaa, we know that when Nuer migrated to our land, most of the place was occupied. And then for us to state it that it will be impossible for Anywaa or Kobo to go back, that is sentiment is wrong because it's not long ago. If you think of migration, Nuer did not migrated as she stated in 80s. This is in 1980 something in like 18th century. That is not true because this is what she stated here. This is what happened in Nasser before they can even come to a close to Akobo. Because through Akobo, that's why they can access to go across the border to go to Ethiopia. So, and then I will leave it so you give him my chance to go and go about it. Because we are we know our burden, we know when Nuer come to our land, and the Nuer we allow, and the Nuer of Akobo as well. Because from South Sudanese border, from 1956 border, we were made, Akobo wasn't a part of any Nuer there, wasn't a part of Nuer. Nuer, Anywaa were, because of, anyway, let me leave it there. Let her finish our own side so I can.
Just a minute.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
And maybe give it to my brother Emmanuel also is Anywaa if you want to say something here.
Yeah. So just a minute. Can I
ask the question that we got to Emmanuel? Anyone should send your request because we only have 1 minute.
I think Joyce just answered that, but I was really caught by surprise when she said that Anwar people came after her. So Emmanuel, can you correct her with that statement because that's a false statement?
Well, I don't know what you guys deem a false statement because I feel like I have my own views that might differ, and I beg and like should I differ, guys, with you? I beg you guys to understand that.
Emmanuel, are you Anuak or no?
I am Anuak, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go there. Yana go code that Nuere beg gonna job Congo. So
okay.
I'm saying correct with that.
Okay. So Jallo, I think I want to commend you for actually hosting this live. This is the most organized TikTok live that I've seen before here. Especially how you're keeping it organized. You allow people to speak their mind without interruptions, and when there are interruptions, you're able to handle it effectively. I have been to other lives before, especially the ones being hosted by UN, and I'm telling you, it's horrible. There's no order. It's full of rudeness, abuses, and all that. But this is very orderly, and I really commend you for this. So I want to comment on the first thing that Yamal talked about. That is Nuer claiming to be indigenous to Gambella. It's always good to be factual about historical events. Okay, I am not going to speak this but I'm going to speak this because like in moments where people try to spread false information, like truth becomes an absolute remedy for such for such rumors. So the fact is this: it is true that a wave of migrations happened in the past, including the Great Luo migration into Kenya, right? So the Anuak and the Nuer have been living together for centuries. I think I would say this, mostly in this part of southern Sudan. But because historically they don't get along, and the Nuer have been having this thirst for land, and because they're also like large in numbers compared to the Anuak, they've had like fights all along. And so, because Anuak value to live where there is always peace, and as a result of that, most of them migrated to that southwards, to that side of Ethiopia, and abandoning some of the land like Nasser and Akobo. Although Akobo is still like partially owned by both Low Nuer and the Anua. But now a great population of the Anua community moved towards that side of Gambella. It's actually Gambella, not Gambelle. So the problem of the Nuer is this. And this is the problem of the Anuak people with the Nuer. The Nuer are claiming to be the first people to arrive in Gambella. And my problem too with them is them claiming to be the first people to arrive in Gambella. I admit as an Anuak that migration happened. The Anuak reached Gambella first, but later on, because Nuer people who actually move from one land to another in search of water and pasture for their animals, they have also migrated. There's a book that I read recently. It's the Anuak of the Anglo-Sudan, and it talks about that wave of migration of the Nuer. In the 1800s, they actually moved and followed the Anuak, but they did not move deep into Gambella. Okay, so the Anuak were the first people to arrive in Gambella. Honestly speaking, they are the indigenous, they are the indigenous people of the Gambella region. But Nuer, it is also true that we need to accept that Nuer later came into Gambella, but they came as a very small population, especially the Jikeng, a section of them called Jikeng. But they lived far from where, from towns, because they are mainly interested in grazing the animals and stuff like that. And because Anuak have been are a very hospitable community, they were allowed to stay. And so, as you know, when people live together, with time, people interact and people intermarry. So the Anuak and the Nuer have intermarried with each other, and then, social interaction took place, and people established there's that bonds that there's some Anuak who have established bonds, and they're up to date. There are still families in Nuer who trace their origins back to the Anuak, people. Okay, so that is my first point about like who actually are the original owners of Gambella. Should the Nuer be able today to accept that we accept that the Anuak came first, but we later on followed them? Like when the Luo moved into Kenya, Ayora Luo, I want to give you this example. There is a wave that like they moved in three waves of migration. We have the Joka Jok, we have the Joko Molo, and then there is another third one. Okay, so now the Joka Jok will not say, you guys moved later on, so you're not part of this. No, or you cannot claim to have arrived first and want to you want to take ownership or take credit of you guys of the hospitality of the community you found there.
I have a question.
Okay.
Here.
Just a minute, brother. And so this is also the problem. This is the second problem of Anuak problem with the Nuer. The Anuak have allowed establishment of refugee camps, especially in Itang, many years ago when South Sudan was in civil war. And this has hosted many refugees, include from Sudan, which was from Sudan, not actually South Sudan. South Sudan came later as a country, and those camps extended up to Pinyur and many other parts of Gambella region. Okay, and so now the problem of Anuak today is this: after 2013 civil war, a large population of Nuer migrated to Gambella to seek refuge. I want you to get this clearly, that before this migration, the population of the Nuer, the population of the Nuer in Gambella is actually smaller than the population of the Anuak. Because if you look it up today, majority of the Anuak people live in Gambella region. Like, because Anuak live in both South Sudan and Ethiopia. So the ones that live in Ethiopia are more. So after that migration, it was difficult because the border between South Sudan and Gambella is not protected by the federal police. So there is no restrictions. Anywhere can get in, get the IDs, go to refugee camps, get the refugee cards, and also get IDs at the same time. So most of them integrated into that region. So with time, they overtook the population of the local people, majorly the Anuak people. This has brought a feeling of discomfort because when the Anuak look back at the history and how their previous lands have been taken by the Nuer, the problem has always been allowing Nuer to come and then integrate and slowly overpopulating them, and then later on taking their land. So the population of the Anuak today, the problem of the Anuak today is the refugee problem that actually increased the population of the Nuer in Gambella, which is hard which is very difficult to distinguish who is the Nuer citizen, who is the Nuer who is an Ethiopian citizen, and who is the Nuer who is a South Sudanese citizen. Okay. So this is another problem that the Anuak have, and that is why recently you've seen a campaign Anuak saying, you know what, we are tired of this refugee problem, because Anuak actually they're foreseeing a future of Nuer dominating them in the future, and this is something they would not want to face in the future. Okay, and thirdly, maybe as I conclude, maybe just to allow other people to talk. I am always not focused on the problem itself. I'm somebody who is very solution oriented when it comes to problems like this. Okay, I'm an economics major, and I also do international studies for my own knowledge. Okay, the problem Gambella lies here. Sorry?
You said you talk too much. Can you conclude?
This is the conclusion. Now, this is the problem. This is the solution to what I think is the problem of Gambella. The Nuer, the Anuak people need to accept that the Nuer have migrated. They have migrated to Gambella region many years ago, and some of them have stayed there for over 100 years. That means many generations have been born there. Okay. The same with
my young brother, you are from Anywaa. That is untrue. You are a young person. Don't jump to something.
Okay.
We're living in Gambella is not up to 100 years. Even it's not even to 50. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Joyce. This is my own research, and this is the knowledge I have. It's okay for you to disagree, but let me finish. This is the solutions that I think we need to have if we need to have a peaceful Gambella. So both Anuak and the Nuer need to accept each other. That, you know what, the constitution that brought peace to this region said that the 5 of us are indigenous to this place. So what are the things that we need to do in order to allow us to live peacefully? Because if somebody has already lived there for many years, you cannot displace them. We have many refugees who've moved to like America, for example. Let me give you an example of America. Okay. People who came as immigrants, they have gotten citizenships here, and they have contributed to the leadership, of this country, making it a great nation.
But the point is though, like you use your advantage of your population to displace Anywaa people from South Sudan to go to Ethiopia. Is that you use? Is it like that?
No, just wait. I just like I told you, I am a solution-oriented person. I don't want to see more Anuak dying. I don't want to see more Nuer dying. This is the solution I think that both communities need to embrace if we need to see a peaceful and a prosperous Gambella. Sometimes it's good to look something from both ends. The impacts of not accepting the truth. You see. So I am saying that both communities need acceptance. Once people accept each other and believe that they have lived in that region for a considerable amount of time, then they will find a common ground to peacefully coexist together, because not coexisting together is not actually a solution that will result into an endless civil war that none of us is going to like. Take, for example, the problem of Israel. Israel was created in 1967. So the Jews that were moved to Israel, they don't even have 100 years there. And right now Israel is controlling Palestine because Palestine doesn't want to accept people of Israel. They're saying these people are immigrants, they are this. And that is why people are fighting every day. It's good to refer to history. This is what I can say. So go ahead, Jalo.
Let me say something. First, if you want people to have peace, they have to recognize, just like you say. So the Nuer people, they have to recognize that. They have to recognize the indigenous people up there. They have to have some respect. You cannot say we live with those people. Yes, I'm not been living with them for a long time. That is proof that I'm not can live with them those years. But the problem, they have to recognize the indigenous, the people that live in those areas, to know that, hey, these are the indigenous people. So if they recognize that those are the indigenous people, the fighting will not happen. But I know people, they're not fighting for that. They're fighting for recognize. They don't recognize. Even Ethiopian government don't recognize Anuak people. So that is one point that Anuak they're fighting, is to recognize that, to know that they are the indigenous. To know the original indigenous of Ethiopia, of Gambella. And that was
Sorry, Emmanuel, can I jump in real quick? I know.
Can I make it?
Just a lot of things are piling up, and I also would like to respond since it was important.
Let others speak. Can I speak? Okay.
Maybe 4 Anuak and just 1 Nuer. I'm not sure if Dominic is Nuer. So I believe
Dominic is Nuer.
Yes. Okay, so Jamal, what? Lunalotic, you have a question or you have a statement to make?
Me or?
First of all, I was like,
very short.
Okay. Like right now, according to this statement, I learned a lot from Emmanuel. I learned a lot. But I don't know the time when these people, refugees from South Sudan, when they went to Gambella. Is it the government? Is it the government of Ethiopia paid? They paid that citizen which they are living in that area, the local people, because in Uganda, in northern Uganda, these people was being paid. Those people who give land to the refugee was being paid. Is it these people was being paid? My question.
Yes. The Ethiopian government, they've been paid.
Not the local people, not to the local people. I know people never
Can I clarify a few things? Can I respond, please?
Right. And then also before you respond, there's some other thing, because sometimes, some young people, and best to
No. Just answer my question.
No. Okay, answer to your question. They haven't paid money to Anywaa to host the refugees, but they may have paid the government of Ethiopia to host the refugees because Gambella is a part of Ethiopia.
Okay, thank you. I'll go now. Emmanuel, so there's some points that you made that I actually agree with you on. And I think that you articulate yourself really well, where both Nuer can understand the fear that is among a lot of Anuak, right? So most time when we just attack each other, we don't move forward. So I respect your perspective. I do want to correct a few things. Number one, Nuer people don't like violence. They like peace just as much as Anuak people like peace. As I mentioned before, I would say that Anuak and Nuer people has been living side by side for many, many years. And then another thing too, like when crimes do happen, if people handle those crimes effectively, nothing would ever escalate, because things escalate, especially with Nuer people, because they get murdered one by one, 2, 3, like here and there, until they are so fed up, and then they go and attack the whole community where innocent lives. Okay, stop attacking me. I'm speaking. Thank you. So I wanna put that out, that like it's not that we like violence. It's just that things, when North people retaliate, it's God, please don't let it happen, right? Like that's what we all want. And then as a next generation, we are responsible to hold whoever commits the crime effectively so things don't escalate. Because if that person was held accountable, those people that keep murdering more people everywhere, if they were held accountable, nothing would be happening, right? Like we would not be where we are at today. But no one was being held accountable, and they just go back to the streets and do the same crimes. So I need people to start acknowledging that, because that's a reality that I myself lived. Like I've been in buses where like the fear is really, really there, where our bus can be stopped and we could be like the victims of that route. So like I don't like the that statement you said that, oh yeah, a lot of people like peace, but Nuer people don't like peace. That's the only thing I want to point out. Other than that, your other points are very valid.
Oh, okay, just allow me to respond to her just a little bit. Let Dominic first speak. Okay, Dominic, I'll just
give me one more second. Give me one more second. You should have given it to me. There's so many things, because this Nyamal was pointing out the thing. We should have been looking into this, and also there's a lot of things. If I can finish my sentence, that would be really good, and then I can give it back to you. Because I think you said kind of baiting.
Yamal, you actually said you were correcting me.
Okay.
And this is why I said that maybe you can respond to it together with completing.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I really wanted to have you finish. I think that if you go to this person and points were just really piling up.
Okay, so Nyamal, this is why I said that the Anuak people love peace and the Nuer do the opposite. This is why. History of the Anuak. Just 30 seconds, please. I wouldn't take much time. 30 seconds, please.
10 seconds.
Okay, so like history of the Anuak shows that the Nuer have been violent towards the Anuak, and also I've lived in Kakuma and I've seen Nuer fighting literally every community. They fought the Dinka, the Nubians, the Congolese, the Rwandese, also the Burundians in Kakuma refugee camp. So you cannot convince me that Nuer are a peaceful community. That is a white lie.
Okay, that's your opinion of the Nuer. So I can also have my opinion of the Nuer, and to be honest with you, I witnessed it. Anuak people are not easy to live with. You guys murder people every single day, but guess what? I don't generalize the
side in Ethiopia, point somewhere in a different country.
Okay, but it's because we have a huge gap.
Kill people beside any
okay, honestly, the Anuak that lives in South Sudan has a common sense. They don't go and murder Nuer people because they know what will be coming for them.
Thank you.
But
so it shows that by him is telling you that the Nuer in South Sudan they're fighting, the Nuer other places they're fighting.
Okay.
They're fighting
you hear Nuer people? Okay.
I love people. They don't know that
it's a fact.
That is showing you the violence. If you can do it in other countries,
perspective
will not take you
guys forward. Listen, that perspective will not take you guys forward, because here's the thing. The Anuak still live in October, correct? Okay, Dominic. I didn't even make Jalwo, before you go, you escaped me, because even before I give my chance to my brother Emmanuel to wait in, because he was waiting, you come later on, because before Nyamal left.
Jalwo, I think Joyce, she's been up here literally like 1 hour right now, so at least let others speak, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Joyce, can you just keep it short, finish it, and then we go to Dominic, because he might want to answer you.
Yeah, it might not be, it may not be, because I have to, maybe let me try to jump on some point there, so I can get some few words out there, but later on, after Dominic, maybe you give it to me, because I a little bit want to go back, because Nyamal went to history, the movement, how Nuer become Ethiopian, and all these things. But if you look at it, the history of Ethiopia, because whenever we talk, I know everybody defending their people, which is right, but sometimes defending your people with the fact, that will help a lot. Because since Nyamal Watia is not like it's a human rights something, he's active for South Sudan, for his people, or on all platforms. So let me leave it there. Nuer never owned any single land in Gambella in particular. The first, for them to be organized as Ethiopia has come as the way, because these people are cattle raisers. So before that time, Gambella wasn't a part of Ethiopia. Gambella was a dependent Anywaa only. It wasn't in South Sudan, either to Ethiopia at the time when Anywaa were living in their own life. So later on, when the treaty were made,
Yeah? When, well, maybe even without Anywaa knowledge, and the time Nuer are nowhere to be found. Even Nuer are not even in Akobo in the first place, because when we speak in the history, let us not jump. Because if you look at Akobo wasn't owned by Nuer. It's not a Nuer until now. As she said it cannot be, Anwar cannot go, Anwar can go back because Anwar.
I think we are speaking facts here, right?
Yeah, I'm speaking facts to listen.
But stop lying. Stop lying.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying because most of the territory, yeah, listen, my brother, most of the territory, Nuer are now, yeah, most of the territory now, Nuer are now, yeah, living as their land used to be Anwar village before the Nuer migrated there. Nuer did not come to empty land and gather. Nuer come and found people and settle with the local people. Yeah? So, and this is not in a large number, as the sister said during migration. And then also when Nuer start coming to Ethiopia, it's not like they come in Anwar land, wasn't because they want to live there. They are coming seasonally. Then later on, Ethiopian found them out. And somebody, I don't know, I forgot the name, maybe one day or tomorrow when you make a show, I will come with that list. He said there's some people here. He said what the Ethiopian government did at the time, they're looking for tax. This is how Nuer become a partner. They will bring the Nuer into it. So when Nuer come to graze their land, these Ethiopians will go after them and they're taxing them. And with where in Anwar land at the before? Because if you look at Akobo, from Nasser to Akobo all the way to Gambella, those occupied by Anwar at the time. The village already lived there before. So and then afterward, because they're taxing them, and then they are living in some village very far away from Gambella town. Very far away from Gambella town. So later on, when they want to become a part of, because if you look at Gambella, Gambella wasn't a state like that before. It's under other people because there's a smaller number of people there. There's some tribe there was also living across Gambella. It wasn't only Nuer and Anua. So that's to leave it that part. But when you come to some of the book, other people go and read, book are read by people. People can lie in the book as well. But the people of Anua, yeah, the people, listen, you will ask me later on. I'm not, yeah, and then
let Dominic speak. Let Dominic speak first.
Dominic, keep it short as well.
Yeah, Jalo,
you don't never let me to conclude because I want to go to the point of Nyamal said that Anua will be attacking people on the buses and all these things. To be true, to be told, that is untrue. There's nothing like that because Nuer are not the only refugees in Gambella region who live there.
I think we have evidence. Yeah, we have evidence.
We do have evidence of our own too. You guys doing it to yourself.
No, Joyce.
You never catch anyone doing it. That is untrue.
Joyce,
that's lie.
I think you are a big auntie. That should not lie.
No, I'm not big auntie. Go and look at my profile and look my picture. So I'm not
maybe you are ignorant about what is happening.
No, look at it. I'm telling you the truth.
You risk being profitable because we have to keep it not emotional. If we go after each other, then we just ranting, and then we're not going to solution. So Dominic, could you present what you have, and then I will ask a question.
Yeah, Jalo, I just wanted to, to bring other Nuer up because we have like 4 Anuak up here, and I think we are only 2. So you can bring Fanta up, and if it's possible, you can bring UN up. She will keep it low, no any argument. So I think let UN come up.
Okay, I think.
Could you? Sorry to interrupt. I want to draw myself, so you bring another and one person here. Let me go to the comment. Omar.
No, let us talk the solution.
Put it in my place, please. Let me draw myself, so you bring Motorway, please. Before you go, can I say something? I will come back later. I'll just give my space to the person.
Fine, you can give your place, but here's the thing. You cannot tell the family and the victims that's the children. Honestly, y'all was terrorizing the whole North.
Okay, can you bring that person on that? You are talking about please.
You're not peaceful. So So before you start yourself, I want to let you know that.
No, can we look the solution? Talk about solution. We don't want to hear the story.
We need to give Dominic a chance to speak, and keep it short, so that we don't lose track. And please, when you have a chance, don't go after each other, because we don't want to be ranting. After the two words have spoken, I will ask a question to both.
Okay, so Jalo, just a minute. I want you also to ask this, because like once people get to share their opinions, I want you to ask them what do they think is the solution. Because what is the point of it?
We get there.
Like focusing on the main problem without coming up with a solution.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dominic, the floor is yours, and then Fanta.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for letting me in here. I think your law is kind of familiar, as law people speak that language maybe. For us also, Nuer, we are also related, like kind of the law of Kenyan, and also the Dinga from Balgadar. So anyways, I think if we go back to history of Gambella, who owned Gambella, so we all know the history, right? So maybe the Anuak have their own, but also the Nuer have their own. But at the end of the day, the final say is federal government, because we know Ethiopia is being governed by a federal system, whereby there is states, right? And the states are all the state in Ethiopia. There's a constitution and there's a government system there. It's not only about the tribes who own the land and whatsoever everyone may say here. So if we go back about the insecurities right now happening in Gambella, Ethiopia, it started from the Anuak having a campaign that they don't need Nuer in Gambella, Ethiopia. They say that the Nuer should go back to South Sudan, that the land doesn't belong to them. But when you look at all this right now, the land belongs to other 5 tribes in Gambella, including Anuak and Nuer. So if we go back to the history, right? But what started the insecurities and unaliving of civilians is Anuak. They have, in Gambella, they are divided in zones or waradas. There's an area called Abol Warada. It's between Gambella and Gambella town. That is from Gambella town coming to Lara Warada. So there's an area is a zone for Anuak. It's called Abol. So there's a highway moving from Gambella city or Gambella town to Lara Warada. So from there, it passes through Abol. So the Anuak are stationed there in Abol. Is their zone, is their Warada, right? But there's a group of Anuak in that place whereby any bus or any ambulance coming from Gambella city going to Lara Warada is where the Nuer are, or is the Nuer zone. So any bus or any ambulance coming from the city to the other side, they stop it because they are the checkpoint. They stop it and they start analyzing the people in the buses. So we have the evidence, and within I think right now we're in this year. Last year in December, there's more than 54 people that are being analyzed by the Annual criminals in that zone, right? So they analyze people moving from Gambella city to the other side of the city. So we because in Gambella system, the president or the governor of Gambella region is from Anuak. So the by president or the by governor is a Nuer, right? So the security organs, the chief of the police is Anuak, and also being deputized by Nuer, and also the police commissioner is Anuak. So these people are the one responsible for the security in Gambella region. But it happened that the Anuak have a campaign that they don't need Nuer, and since they cannot chase Nuer away, they started using violence. and they start analyzing Nuer constantly every day when there's buses moving from Gambella city going to Nuer zones, right? So from there, the Nuer say enough is enough. They should not analyze us, because even there was a bank manager in Gambella city, he's a Nuer, and he was being analyzed by the Anuak because they are the one controlling the system and they have the campaign that they don't need Nuer. But remember that Gambella, there's 5 tribes who are indigenous to that land. Not only Nuer and not only Anuak. So there's 5 tribes in that region, as the federal system said, and as the Ethiopian constitution said that majority should rule. So in Gambella, Nuer are the majority, followed by Anuak. But when the federal chooses a governor, we don't urge that we should rule. However, in the constitution say that majority should rule. So it started, analyzing civilians. So the Nuer said that enough is enough. Why are they analyzing us? So they retaliated. So when the Nuer retaliated, that's how things erupted, and there was been fighting. And the Anuak started, attacking. Who shot the first fire?
Okay. I will interrupt. And I want us to move more towards the solution now. And everyone
watching, we need to talk about
solution. Yes. Everyone watching, my name is KP Jalwa Broad. I'm a documentary filmmaker. So at the end of this session, if you could just go to my YouTube channel and watch a documentary and share one, I'll really appreciate it. So tonight, those who are joining us from YouTube, we're discussing the war in Gambella, in which there are 2 dominant tribes that are going after each other, the Nuer and the Anuak. Right now, I would like to move more towards a solution. And I have 3 questions, both to the Anuak and the Nuer. And I'll give a background. We all agree that knowing whose land it was first is, well, it might be good on surface value, but both Nuer and the Anuak are refugees in most countries. And majority of the people joining here, I can feel it. I can feel the American accent somewhere. So I know you joining from the US or from Canada or somewhere. So we all agree that this war, as much as we want to all stand tall and say the Nuer can beat the Anuak and the Anuak can beat the Nuer, and this is our land, and this is, you're the invaders and you're the perpetrators. We all know that we are affected with this. The Luo of Kenya, for example, majority of us are not refugees. I think not a single one is a refugee. So peace is very important. Now, we need to move more towards that peace. So I have a question, and you would answer both the Nuer and the Anuak. To the Nuer first, when you claim or you say that this land belongs to the Nuer, could you then tell me which land belonged to the Anuak? And I'm asking the same to the Anuak. If this land belonged to Anuak, then which land belonged to the Nuer? Second question is, if we are in 2026 and we're fighting over territories, why do we allow us to go into this fight as tribal entities and not national entities? Because I believe if the Luo of Kenya believe that a certain portion of Kenya belongs to them, it will not be a tribe versus a tribe. The government would have to come in. So why are we allowing ourselves to go tribal on this? And the last question is, what solution do we need? Nuer, what's the best outcome you want? And the Anuak, what's the best outcome you want? I think I'll take 2 people per identity, per tribe. So I'll start with the Nuer. Could you tell us which land belonged to the Anuak if you claim this one belonged to the Nuer?
Yeah. Sorry, Dominic. Let me just say something. So Nuer people are actually not saying that Anuaks don't belong to Gambella. That's the problem. Nuer people are not claiming that Anuaks aren't indigenous. It's the other way around. We have never claimed Anuaks to be refugees in Gambella. We have never said you need to leave Gambella. That has never been anything. We are literally merely reacting to the violence that is being committed because people are seeing all of us as refugees. That's the problem. Nuer people are not saying, "Oh, you Anuak, get out or leave." That's not what is happening. We've never had a campaign to insinuate that they need to leave. We've never had a campaign to insinuate that they are refugees. But both of us are refugees.
Both of us are also indigenous. And the land is not owned by us. It's not owned by me as a Nuer. It's also not owned by Anuaks. It's owned by the federal government. So we cannot actually unalive ourselves over land because we don't have the rights to that land. Ethiopia is the federal government, which means the federal government owns all the land. That's why we have to buy the land to even build a house, even in the Nuer zones. And like Dominic says, Gambella has zones.
What is the solution?
Each tribe has a zone. I don't know if you know what zones are, but the region is broken up into zones, and each tribe has their zone, which is where their land is, which is the land that is allotted to them.
Yeah,
I'm trying to explain. This is why is it that every time I'm just trying to explain to you? He asked about the
story because I don't think she
it's not a story. He asked about.
Just give it to Dominic. Dominic can answer it. I think
so
Dominic,
I'm answering the question that was asked to me, and you guys don't want me to answer. The question he said, where are the people? Okay, let me explain to you the zones. Oh my God! Wow.
You have answered the first question. That is, which land belongs to them? You say you don't claim that Nuer are refugees. So this land belongs.
No, there are zones. I told you there are zones. Each tribe has their zone. The Nuer zone, okay, let me explain to you. The Nuer zone is Akobo, Biako, Lare, and Wantao. The Matiang zones are Tadere and Magish. The Anuak zones are Abo, Gog, Joro, and Dime. There are zones. The whole region is broken up and everybody has their zone and has their land. That's what he asked.
But those zone land, they name in Anuak language. Where you say Akobo, it's in Anuak language. It's Anuak language. So what zone are you talking about? The name you say.
So have that fight. Go have that fight with the
finish. I did not talk all day.
The federal government is who you have that fight with. If you want to take those zones from Nuer,
no, it's not about zone. We're talking.
I don't
understand. Zone is something that's given by the government. That's zone. Let's talk about the land.
No, zone is the makeup of the
region. Can you control the
yeah, if you don't make us care what it doesn't
give me like a attacker.
He doesn't say no. He allows them to hold on. Hey, Mr. Host.
We are tired of
do a better job of having them not.
Listen.
Just give it to Dominic.
How can you be tired when we are the experiencing the unaliving, and you're telling us to explain to you what is happening, but you're tired of our explanation. But you're tired of our explanation.
Everyone has said before, if you shout at each other, we're not having a solution. We're not having a conversation. Okay? So I asked 3 questions. You've answered the first one. Okay? Though they raised the issue, how come these places are named in Anywaa? Could we just answer that straight and then we move to the next question?
I don't give them 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough.
1 minute per person.
Yeah, okay, 1 minute.
They're not named after Anuak.
They can say, Akobo is Anuak. The one is
okay, it's not. Akobo. Well, go. You can go. Then ask the federal government.
Akobo in Sudan, what is that?
Ask the federal government. What do you? Are you gonna then kill us?
The name. You don't know how to answer. Just give it a Dominic. Just give it a Dominic. You don't know how to answer. You don't know anything about it.
You said nobody can interrupt, but you allow Simon to interrupt. Why do you allow Simon to interrupt? You just want to
just give it to Dominic. Just let Dominic answer.
Is this Simon's live? Wow. Anyways.
When there's something that you don't agree with, you don't play the victim card. You don't say, so you only allow them to, don't be a victim.
No, what are you talking about? You said that, and you even told me you will police me if I go out of line. So can you police them? Police them as well.
Yes.
Why am I the only one getting policed? That's my question to you, host. Why are you only policing me, but you don't police
other people? Because you're the one who jump over here. Even you, they don't even jump. You don't let people talk. So that's the whole point. You're the only one who jump over here. Domino don't yappa, Nyama don't yappa. So you're the only one.
Simon, if you talk again, I will drop you. Dominic, keep quiet. You went, I don't want to play the victim card. I've dropped so many people, including Joyce. I have dropped her. So I'm not only policing you, I'm policing everyone. So any disagreement?
No, you don't police when people interrupt me, but that's okay.
So can you answer the question? Why do you think we need to go on the tribal way? in claiming.
We aren't going the tribal way. I told you the solution is actually the government, and that's what's happening. The federal government is investigating the government right now. They already arrested the chief of police. They are doing an investigation. That is where the solutions are. The solution is not telling Nuer people that they're refugees and that they're not indigenous to Gambella and they need to leave. It is not having a campaign against refugees, and it's not killing people on the ground. It is going to talk to the government and changing those two leaders. If we don't like the leaders and they're not unable to keep Gambella safe, that's where we need to put our energy. Your energy should not go at calling another tribe a refugee. And I told you, we've never had a campaign calling Anuaks refugees. We've never had a campaign asking Anuaks to leave.
You have a question. Are there
365 questions.
Are there Nuer refugees in Gambella? Yes or no?
Yes, and there are Anuak refugees as well. So we are both refugees. Itang has Anuak refugees. And Joyce on the last live, she said she was a refugee from Gambella and she's from Sudan. So we're both refugees and we're also both indigenous.
You and don't lie on me. Don't lie on me. Okay?
Hey, Joyce.
You will lie a lot, so I know that.
I never told you anything. You just had.
Yeah, no, I think
it wasn't that. Somebody was asking if there's.
No, it's okay, Dominic. Let the host allow them to berate me. It's okay.
Your time finished. Your time has finished. So
he's asking me the questions and I'm doing.
I dropped UN because somehow she plays a victim card so much. The host allow them to. I'm not on any side. Otherwise, I would be happily sleeping. It's 3 in the morning. I'm not an Anuak. I'm not. So let's be neutral. I'm not against the Nuer. You know. So don't say the host.
No, I don't think you are against the Nuer, but you have to realize that everyone here on the live also really do interrupt UN a lot, even when she is talking in a calm tone, and it's making sense because even the way she answered the first question was good. Like that's what you wanted.
Can you let someone from my to speak?
See, you're doing exactly. Except he said that the North were going first, right? He said that. They do that a lot to UN. So that's why UN get really irritated that you're not stepping in as a host. I don't think that she wants to play a victim card, but we kind of all see that everyone just kind of come and attack her when it's her turn to go.
No, UN don't answer the question specifically. That's the problem. Like when he asked the question, you don't answer the question.
That's your opinion, though. But she was answering the questions.
Yeah, so that's why people are wrong. Like when he asked with the question, she don't answer specifically. She would start with the different.
Okay. Why is it your fault to interrupt her? Why is the host is not the one interrupting her? That's not an idea.
Let's go to Dominic. Dominic, the floor is yours. The 3 questions I asked. Why do we need to go the tribal way? And which land belonged to who originally? And what's the best outcome you want? The Nuer would want out of this?
Yeah, no one want to go to like a tribal way. We've been living in Gambella, Ethiopia, peacefully, right? The Nuer have their own zones, and also the Anuak have their own zones. But the problem started when the Anuak start analyzing people moving on the way, like moving on the highway. As I told you before, the Abol Warada is owned by Anuak, and the road, they are the checkpoint, and that's where they analyze people. So we need to live peacefully. The Nuer never say that Anuak should leave Gambella, and also the other tribes never say that Nuer should leave Gambella, right? So everyone had lived their own zones and they live peacefully. But the problem is the Anuak started having a campaign saying that Nuer should leave, and that's where the problem is, right? So no one wants to go a tribal way. We just need to stay as citizens of Gambella, citizens of Ethiopia, to live peacefully in Ethiopia. That's what we need. We don't have any campaign. We don't hate the Anuak. We don't have any campaign that Anuak should leave. So we stay peacefully. But them, they are the one who say Nuer are refugees. But remember, the Anuak have refugees too from South Sudan. The Itang, they come from Pinchala. They are in Itang. Itang is a refugee camp. It was established, I think, in 1983.
Who owned Itang?
Bro, don't interrupt. Yeah, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, Simon. So Itang was being established in 1983, and since the civil war in South Sudan started, that's when the Itang was established. But right now, Anuak refugees are occupying that land. They come from South Sudan. Also, the Nuer are in Tarpam. It's also a refugee camp. So there's both tribes in Gambella region. They both come from South Sudan and they are both refugees. So the Nuer have never said that Anuak should leave, and then and also other tribes, right? So what we need as a solution, as we said before, there's no anyone that can take arms to to target the other tribe so that they should leave, because you will get it hard way. And that's why when the Nuer retaliate, that's why the Anuak say that there's genocide, and that is not true. So we need to live peacefully. We need to accept ourselves as Ethiopians, as Gambellian, to stay in Gambella peacefully. Gambella belongs to federal government, and that's why right now the federal government is stepping, and is arresting the criminals that are involved in this unaliving of civilians. And that's why right now, let me tell you this: we have like 27 Annual government officials in prison right now as we speak. And these are the government officials that have, the commissioner that have big positions in Gambella region. There are 27 officials that are in prison right now that are being arrested by the federal government, and because they have hand in this unaliving of civilians. And that's what I can say. Just
thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think we haven't given Fanta a chance to speak. I will ask you, Fanta, could you tell me why? I know this land could belong to the Nuer. They could have claimed it for ancestral reasons or administrative reasons, whatever reasons. Why do you think they have to, first, do they actually attack the Anuak? And when they do they do this as Nuer, or do they do it as a government? And if they indeed do this as Nuer, is it proper? Is it okay?
Okay. Mr. KP, thank you so much for bringing me up here. I appreciate your life. You've been so non-partisan. You've been keeping your neutrality and stuff like that. Okay, first of all, I'm a Nuer. Okay. Most of the things that have been elaborated by Dominic, they really make sense. That's how I see them also in my own view and stuff like that. First of all, let me go back to the refugee stuff and stuff. And I will also tell you guys my opinion about the solution. Okay. Yeah, like when you see Gambella has been shared by more than 4 tribes, yeah, including the Nuer and the Anua. The Anua and the Nuer have been living peacefully for a very long time. Okay, things happened after 2013. That's when some problems happened between the Anua and the Nuer and stuff like that. And first of all, Nuer, even before 2013, they were the majority in Gambella. I'm not saying that they are the first people to go to Gambella, no, but they're the majority in Gambella. Okay, so after that, when war broke up in South Sudan, Anua, who were living in Ponchala and Akoba, which are sides of South Sudan, they're in South Sudan. They left South Sudan because of what happened. They went to Gambella because they have their brothers, fellow Anua in Gambella, right? So also the Nuer who were living in South Sudan after the problem that broke out in South Sudan, they also left South Sudan and they went to Gambella and stayed with their fellow people who are on the other side. It's just like now, even in South Sudan and Kenya, we share some places, right? We share Nadapal. Nadapal is both South Sudan and Kenya, right? And the tribe that is there, if there's a problem in Kenya, they have the right to run to South Sudan because they also have their people there. Those are the closest people they can get to, right? So that's the same thing that the Anua and the Nuer did. I don't blame the Anua. I don't judge the Anua for going. I don't judge the Nuer either, right? But the problem comes when they reach Ethiopia, Gambella, the Anua decide to reject the refugee Nuers who are running from South Sudan, right? And they want to integrate their Anua people who are running from Akoba and Pinchala. They want to integrate them into the Anua group that is already in Gambella, right? But they don't want the people of Nuer to integrate their own people who are also running away from the same problem. You get it? That is a very big problem. That's where I think that Anua were not right. And leave alone that, they go on to attack the Nuer people, like just Dominic said earlier. When you're moving from place, because they don't come straight. They don't come straight. They want to hit the weak points. Like when you're moving on the road, like you're having your bus going from place to place, they would come and just ambush the bus, get everyone down. If you're Nuer, they just unalive you just like that. And us, we don't find that like sense making. Okay. However, in the federal government of Ethiopia, it's been indicated that in every state of Ethiopia, the majority tribe that is in that state is supposed to lead the state. That has been constant in every other state except Gambella state, where Nuer were the majority, but they decided to compromise and say that no, because the Annual were complaining, given the fact that they think they're the first people that went there, they see almost every other Nuer as just refugees because they feel like they're the first people. They've been complaining a lot until Nuer decided to like compromise and say that, okay, no, let's give them also a chance like to lead, right? But they misbehaved and they abused their rights because right now, just like Dominic told you, there are more than 27 government officials that are being interrogated that are in prison. And also they have their policemen who joined, like, I don't know, if you are working for the government, you're not supposed to be tribal or stuff like that, but they have their policemen who unalived a lot of Nuer people in Gambella. You get it? And that thing, it angered a lot of Nuer, right? And then there's a guy who said here, please just let me talk, I'm not going to be long. There's a guy who said here that why right, I'm gonna get to the solution. Just give me.
Every person who come here wanna tell the story. Don't wanna say the solution. Like, come on now. Yeah, the other one come and say the same thing. The other one come and say the same thing.
I heard you. I heard you.
I'm not allowed to say the full.
All right. Okay, fine. I'm gonna jump to the solution, right? So I think the solution would be that the government of Ethiopia direct the authorities in Gambella to make proper documentation of the refugees that come from South Sudan, right? From both sides, both Anuak and then the Nuer that came from South Sudan. Proper documentation to know who is a South Sudanese and who is a native Ethiopian, right? So I feel like this thing would give people the hope of saying that maybe, because I know the greatest fear of the Annual people is that their land is going to be occupied, right? I don't know, you guys getting me? Am I cutting? Yeah. The greatest fear of Anua is that their land is going to be taken. And I cannot blame them for that, given the past histories and stuff like that. I cannot blame them for that. But the proper documentation of refugees that are flooding in from South Sudan would be the best solution. So that one time, when South Sudan gets back to stability, we can know who was from South Sudan and who is a native of Anua, right? So I would say, they should not attack South Sudanese. They should not attack the Nuer right now because they're in a very difficult place right now. That's something that I want to say about the solution. I'm gonna give back the floor to you guys. Thank you so much, KP.
Thank you. I have a question to Nuer. I mean to Anuak people. You Anuak people, you are claiming that these people, they are not good people. What exactly these people are doing in your land? Like, what the bad thing Nuer are doing in your land? That's why you don't want them to be in your land. Why?
Thank you for that. And that is a good question for all Anua because we have not been asked. So, okay, let me give it to the other person because my son is talking right now. I'm gonna give it to other Anua.
If yes, then answer the question that has been asked.
Just 1 minute. Answer question. 1 minute. 1 minute only.
I think Obang is not here.
So anyone cannot answer that question.
So let me.
Yeah. My
1 minute.
brother, is a lot of things were did to us for us to feel that.
Currently, right? I want you to talk about the currently one in 2025.
2025. Yeah, it's alive people burning the village, displacing Anywaa from their original village. You can go online on Facebook, just because we are not friends, I can share you some of the village were burned, were burned from Anywaa. So it's a lot. It's not here. Everybody is saying their side of the story. But because that's why I asked Jaluo, KP, there's a Anywaa guy I asked you before to bring it up here. I don't know, Omot or watch. Because what I tried to spend so far that time is what I think you get more information from it. So can I wait in on my own? If you can get him, please add him. He keep asking to be added up. I know he will give you more detail, the history and more a lot of things. So let me comment it on this part of Nuer claiming that Anywaa were alive them on the bus and the road. To be honest, that thing is not true. Because the issue of Anewaa and Nuer never started today as we speak. It has started way back before they start migrated. The reason Anewaa today, most of their village, the one they live maybe 40 years ago, 30 years ago, was left empty today. No Nuer live there, no Anewaa live there, but Nuer still following Anewaa to the where they are living till today. So when you look at the Gambella, some districts were shared between Nuer and Anewaa, but why did Nuer share the district? Because they migrated there. Because if you come, yes, everybody defending their people, yeah? But the truth should be told. Because if Nyamal here would say Nuer are beautiful people,
is finished.
No, I'm not answering you. I'm not answering you, but my brother, I'm just putting my own, I will keep it short. So it's a lot what Anewaa go through, what is Anewaa is going through for them to say enough. For us, we are not like a bad people. We allow refugees to be us in our land. Since in 56, from there, you see, since South Sudan started the movement of Anyanya 1, Anyanya 2, to now, before they get their independence. And then for other people, where to say here, we live side by side in peace. We are never living side by peace. It's always Anewaa live the village, Nuer, go in that village, let that village fall Anewaa again. It's never been peacefully, to be honest, and truth should be told. Never, even we don't live in one like this is Anewaa house, this is Nuer house. No, Nuer live in their village, we live in our village. Anytime people have connection, fight for it. So it's a lot.
Okay, you guys, we are looking for the solution. We are looking for the solution.
Low Nilotics. The question that you asked. The question that Low Nilotic asked is a very good question, but Joyce cannot answer it because she's too ignorant to understand what she's talking about, right?
Yeah, let's be nice.
So bring Emmanuel up to replace Joyce because Joyce.
So let me tell you, 2016, they're posing the kids in the school. Students, the Nuer people, they're posing the kid in the student.
Simon, do you have evidence for that?
Yes, there's evidence. So let me tell everything that you guys did, okay? And before that, before the fight distracted, they unalived 16 years old, 2 ladies. They drag out from the bus. And they unalived the 2 ladies. And after that, there was a person who was sent to go to have a talk with them.
Talk about 2025.
Yeah, 2025. This happened 2025. Yes, this is how the fight happened. Because they drag out two Anuak 16 years old from the car, from the bus, and they unalive them.
Where was those people traveling to?
Dominic,
let me continue. So after they unalive them, the Anuak they went back and do the same thing. So the Anuak they have a talk. Everybody have a talk about this situation. So we send a person who is
that time is
listen first. We send a person. Listen first. We send a person to have a peace talk. So we send a person to have a peace talk of the situation happened, right? They unalive 2 Anuak, and Anuak unalive one of them too. So now we send a person to have a peace talk. But the person that we sent to have a peace talk, they end up unaliving him when he went to have a peace talk. So the fight is scrap up. They say, okay, so you guys don't want peace because we sent somebody for you guys to have a peace talk, but they don't want no peace. The person that they were sent by the government to have a peace talk, they unalive him.
I have a question to the
Can I say something?
Yes. I'll ask a question, then you can answer. You can answer something. I have
KP, please, my brother, keep begging you, bring a model watch.
Okay,
Bring.
Joyce, drop.
Can I interject? Can I interject real quick? Please, I can drop for him. It's okay.
Drop. So,
all right.
Yes, I have seen videos of Nuer villages after an attack by the Nuer. I've seen them burn houses. Like this. Is there a case
that is after retaliation? We can also, I will also
okay. Let me finish. Is there a case where the Anuak have attacked Nuer villages and burned houses and killed people in the
Yes.
I will check.
Yes.
For what?
Where? Can you ask?
In Tarapam, they came at night and attacked some of the Nuer section and burned it. Right after the attack.
That is not a town.
Actually, if you see, is it my turn?
Those are a town in Gambella city.
Simon, okay, so again, you have an issue accepting that Nuer people live there. That's your issue, not everyone's issue. So right now, there's Nuer zone that has just been attacked shortly after the Abol town was burned. They literally killed so many people. And also they have, within that attack, they found soldiers that actually belonging to South Sudan. So they brought a whole army to the Ethiopian land to kill Ethiopian citizens. So that's the most recent. They burned the village. They killed so many civilians, women and children shortly after. Since I have the floor, if I can just backtrack a little bit, to the question that was asked by the Nilaric man, I think, it was an answer because if you really dig deep into it, Nuer people do not have a problem with Anuak people. It's the Anuak people that has problem with Nuer people because of the fear of a land that now belongs to the government. That's where the issues lie. That's why Nuer people are being murdered, right? And then Nuer people are retaliated, and then Anuak people are retaliated back. So that's what's been going on. But now it's back in the hand of the government after that attack. But Joyce couldn't simply answer what is it that she doesn't like beside the fact that Nuer people are coexisting with Anuak. They just don't like that simple truth. They think that the land belongs to them and only to them. That reality is what's killing both tribes today.
The stuff that they did.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
I just said it. I said they're poisoning people at the hospital. They unalive the 16 years old.
What was found in the 2016,
they come into Anuak village.
Okay, guys.
I'm telling you.
Let us listen from Omoto. Omoto is here.
Okay. Can I also add what I think is a solution, because I didn't get a chance earlier to add my opinion. Okay, so I think the solution was briefly touched by Emmanuel earlier, who is a Anuak guy, is to accept the core reality that Nuer people belong in that region. If Anuak people accept that, no lives would be lost today. That's what is driving the criminals to continue murdering people, and whether you like it or not, people are going to retaliate. You can only do it so much, and they will only let it go so much, and then a retaliation will come. Or vice versa, Nuer people might just become like the Anuak people and just go and randomly murder Anuak people too, and it's a lose-lose situation. So the fact that Anuak people, whether they came first or Nuer came first, is just a debate at this point. But if you look at statistics, if you look at even a quick Google search, KP will do you good. You will see that Nuer people started making their way into Gambella land in 1880, in 1890. You can find them as far back as that.
So the fact that you are over here calling them refugees is just irrelevant, and it's not going to serve anyone any good. So that's what to move forward, that reality check will really do well for all of us in Gambella.
Okay, can I see one more thing? Okay, I'm away.
Yeah, Jalo, I just want to interject, right?
Are there Nuer refugees in Gambella? Yes or no?
Absolutely, there's no refugees in Gambella.
So
and
why
they are the refugees.
Why do you say that it's irrelevant to say that they are refugees?
No. I'm saying that there is fine. No, I'm not saying that the Nuer people are not refugees. Of course, there's Nuer refugees, there's Nuer citizens. What is the issue is that they are calling all Nuer refugees. So they don't need any rights in Ethiopia because they're all refugees. Even though it's dating back to 1880, 1890, that Nuer people have been found in this region. That's what I'm saying. So just a reality check of like, you can't say all Nuer are refugees and they don't have rights. And just as much as we can't say that all Anuak are all Ethiopians, because some Anuak are also refugees from South Sudan. That's what I'm saying.
Can I just add something to that?
Yeah.
KP, you said you're a Kenyan, right? Yeah. So in Kenya we have Somali who are Kenyans, and we have Somali, right? And most of the Somali are refugees in the Dab camp, right? And we have another tribe in the Dab camp called there's some Somali people living who are just people there who are Kenyan citizens in the Dab.
Sorry, please, can you give me
just a minute. So the Somali in the Dab who are Kenyan, they cannot chase, you cannot tell them, you're a refugee because there are some other Somalis who are Kenyan, so who are not Kenyan. Will it make sense? Nah, so that's the thing. The Nuer, we have the Nuer who are refugee, and also the Anuak who are refugees. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. During the Nuer who are refugees, do they team up with the Nuer who are native to Gambella in any revenge or attack or?
True. Like what just happened in Gambella, and it's between the native, the Ethiopian citizens, which are the Nuer and the Dinka, the Nuer and the Anuak. So do you know what they did? Instead of fighting back, the Nuer who are Ethiopian, they just went to the refugee and unalived refugee, South Sudanese refugee, who are helpless until the government in Ethiopia intervened to save them. They almost even wiped them out, man. They unalived almost 38 people in just one day. Yeah, they are just refugees. They are not even Ethiopians. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother. My name is Omar Odwach. I'm a group from Ethiopia, Gambella. Please, if you can give me like 3 and 4 minutes, I really appreciate it. I know something about the history of Anuak and war. In fact, we, the Anuak of Ethiopia, we haven't migrated into Ethiopia to become Ethiopia. It is the Ethiopian found us in our country. They call it a country, Annual country, because we were under the king and chiefdom. You will find in the book of Professor Bedouin Ojwang, a professor in Nairobi. He is speaking. He has written that because I speak with the evidence, not logically, right? Before 1902, Anuak were in their land, in their country. We knew that the border between Kenya and Ethiopia was made in 1935 between Ethiopia and Somalia, and between Ethiopia and Djibouti, Ethiopia and Eritrea, and Ethiopia-Sudan, which we are talking about, right? So the Nuer people, we didn't border with them. They flee because of the flooding.
we borrow with the local Acholi in their land, right? Anwar came into our land, not into Ethiopia, into our land, Gambella. Before that, let me give you some ideas that to know who owned the country. I myself, I was in Dar es Salaam, which later on they changed it into Mapoy. I know Jiko, my father worked in Jiko, Elut, Tam, Dar es Salaam, Uju. These are the name of the villages, named after Anwar. Before the Nuer occupied, all right? So Anwar get into Gambella, into Anwar land. They came friendly. They came friendly in 1950s. In 1950s, before there was the civil war in Sudan, there were 3 Norths who came to Gambella as a student from Sudan. These people, they live in our home where I was born, in a place called Chonga, which later on they name it a new land in English, which is now as many was living in new land, not in Chonga. They changed that names. They changed the name of Dar es Salaam. Why is it Dar es Salaam? Because of the fight, because of the war, and the Ethiopian occupied that area, and they call it Dar es Salaam in America, all right? As we are speaking right now, the Nuer living in Gambella town, they are living in a new land. A land belonged to my father. I myself. A land belonged to my father. Okay, let me ask a question. If Nuer occupied or own Gambella, can they give us a Nuer who is 70 years old, who was born in Gambella? Nothing. They all came from Sudan. I'm not talking about the South Sudan. Now, they are claiming that there are Anuak from Sudan. Yes, there are Anuak. How did those people become Sudan? Because of the demarcation in 1902. The border goes at the middle of the Anuak land. And this was done by the British because Anuak fought the British and they defeat the British. You can find this in the book called Unsung Giant by Okoto Opak. It is there in Amazon. You can read it by yourself. You will understand. And also the British said that there is a tribe called Anuak living in Sudan and in Ethiopia. They don't train so that don't give them education and power. They will be more powerful. You will find in the book called the Annual Political, all right, written by the British. All this has been written. The name of the lake, the name of the trees, the name of the village, the name of everything, even the mountain and the birds in Ethiopia, in Gambella, have been named after Anwar. Now, why the war became or get chance to get into the politics? You will find this in the book called by Director Fayasa. By Director Fayasa, the book called I forget the play games. Okay, write it down. You will do research by yourself. The play games. The Anuak, when they fight for the freedom to come into the Ethiopia for independence, to go back to the previous country, which called Anuak land, Anuak country, which the British recognize it. But during the demarcation between Ethiopia and Sudan, there were an argument. They rejected us to involve to be a part of that agreement. Okay? So because of that, what they did the agreement without the knowledge of our kings. and we end up in Ethiopia and Sudan. Later on, because of our land in Sudan, there it is in south, the Pochala and the Kobo, they become so Sudanese. Until now, during the independence of South Sudan in 2011. We did not come to Ethiopia. The Ethiopians, they come and they found us in our land. Now, how did this war become majority? Yes, in 1935, before the Civil War, there were one family. That one family and one criminal. They refused to pay taxation to the British in Sudan. And what he did, because he knew the times when the British came for the taxation, he normally came to Anywaa land in Kobo looking for advice, for grazing, for his what cattle. At that time, they used to collect taxation as what? As a cattle. And this guy used to run to Anywaa land. He made a friendship with the Anywaa. That guy is the lineup of somebody called Gambella Bumpal. Okay? His grandfather came as a friend, even the son of that chief is here now in America. Last time he talked, he told the story about his father came as a friend, right? So these people, the Ethiopians now, during the taxation, they were looking for a cattle. When the Ethiopian government now, during the Haile Selassie, went to the Jiko, he found that guy as a cattle. So he tried to convince him to come to Ethiopia. All right? I'm not denying that anyone can be Ethiopian because there is a migration in Ethiopia, migration process. But you can be Ethiopian, but you don't own any land. Even the Muzungu, even the white men, they are white men in Ethiopia now, they are Ethiopian, right? But now they use Anywaa land. They change the names of the villages. Now, why are we fighting war? We will not stop fighting with war. We will not stop. Why? As we are speaking now, in Branasarab, no Anuak there. They had a strategy by killing the people. When the people move, they come and they settle there. In the middle, the same thing. In Potok, the same thing. In India, the same thing. Now only 4 villages are remaining in where? In Anuak land, which they want what? They want to let the people move out from those villages. That's why that is the place now they are fighting in. In this exam, he said that the exam was it was the place where the Sudan and the Ethiopian net businesses. It was a place where they sell coffee and also they buy salt from Sudan at that time. But because of the geographically that place was not good, they moved to Gambella, right? They moved to, that was apart from selling, bringing the ship coming to Ethiopia, the ship going to Ethiopia to where? Bro,
are you telling us the history about?
No, I'm telling you the history because you are a liar.
Yeah, we are a liar.
You don't know the history. I'm teaching you. I'm educating you. I want you to.
We don't need to be taught, yeah?
No, you don't need to. This is the truth. The truth is hard. The truth is hard. This is the one.
It is not.
It's okay.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm speaking with the evidence. We have books written by the British, written by the arts, written by everyone. But you can use support.
Let's exchange words, yeah?
We also have books written by the British.
Let me conclude it.
Yes,
let me conclude.
Go ahead, Uncle.
Let me give you the solution. Let me give you the solution. The solution is now as we are speaking, the Nuer people, when we talk about refugees, the majority of refugees living in Gambella right now, 400,000. 400,000. And the host community are very few than that. That itself, it is not what the units here or UN needed. All right? That is all. And all of them, the majority are what? Are what they do, what they do is this. They went to the villages, they have been given IDs, they have been registered as Ethiopian, and they got their passport, their everything. Now they got opportunity to get into the schools, learning, using the lands of the Anywaa, as we are speaking now. That is the one thing. The second thing, these people, when they came in 1935, during the Civil War, they refused to be registered under the UNHCR. They settled in the land of Anwar, refusing to be in the refugees. So when the South Sudan got independent, they didn't move back. They didn't go back. They remained there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let me say something real quick. KP, you can see in northeastern Kenya, a lot of Somali are getting Kenyan ID, right? And as a Kenyan citizen, as a Luo, you cannot just go and attack them just because the government is giving out ID, right? That is a government work. It's up to the government what to give and what not to. And there are so many ways one can become a citizen, right? By birth, marriage, and some other, yeah. So clearly, like Omod mentioned, he said like Gambella, Anuak, actually, they are the native, and Anuak was not part of Ethiopia. And Anuak is not part of Ethiopia. It's a nation, it's a country. So, and Gambella, it's a country. That's what he said. So you can see there is bigger agenda than to this. I'm gonna give you a small example. In South Sudan, the Nuer and the Dinka are actually unaliving themselves and are fighting. But you will never see a Dinka calling a Nuer that you are not a South Sudanese. And you will never see a Nuer saying to a Dinka that the Dinka are not South Sudanese. In fact, if the Arab come and attack South Sudan today, the Dinka and Nuer will unite and fight back because they know they are cousins and they are brothers. But in Gambella, with our brothers who are Anuak, they don't want anything to do with us. They just want us out of Gambella, out of Ethiopia. And we are telling them like, guys, we can live peacefully. But they fear, tomorrow the Nuer are coming in large numbers, they will overtake everything. And that's not like we have a government system. Kikuyu are the majority in Kenya. They cannot go and they cannot go to places and grab land just like that. The government will intervene. But Anuak will never reason that. You see? What happened in 19th century, 18th century, those days there was no government, there was no system. People are living like animals. But nowadays, if you do something wrong, you will hold accountable to it. And that's why you see a lot of like 29 officials in Gambella were arrested. So my message to Anuak people: we don't hate you. We can live together if you guys want. Like what Emmanuel said, what happened happened. Let's look for solution. Killing Nuer.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. Let me ask what you say.
No, Uncle Omod, like
no, okay. I cannot.
No, just a minute. Let's have an orderly meeting. Let him finish, and then you can bring up your idea.
All right.
So not every Anuak is bad. Yeah, I have a lot of friends from Anuak, and after today we talk. They are my brothers. We have so many things in common. If a Luo man talks next to me, I will understand a lot of things because we are Nilot after all. So here's the thing. There are some individuals in Anuak who think they will liberate Gambella by force. And these are the people who are just hiding in the bushes and hijacking and using guerrilla tactic and unaliving people on the road. You see, that's not the solution. We can come together, let the government do its work. If a Nuer person did a crime, the government will deal with them, not the Anuak community. If Anuak do something wrong, the government will deal with them, not the Nuer community. And together we can live peacefully. Thank you.
Thank you. Before anyone comes up, I think I would like to clarify a few things. That majority of you joining, the majority of the guests here, I can feel that you are based in other countries, not Ethiopia, not South Sudan. So this is a clear evidence that war is bad because you in most cases you went there as refugees of war, right? So we have to move towards a solution, and for you to come to the table of justice, you have to come with clean hands. So I would like to ask my Nuer brothers, just answer with a yes or no. I'll keep it very short. Akobo, is that a Nuer name or Anuak name?
Akobo is a Nuer name because, as Luo, we have a lot of common words, especially when the Dinka speak. I also hear some of the words. And also when the Anuak speak, there are some words and the Shuluk. So when we name a place, it means that maybe that name can also be in another language's name, like maybe in Shuluk's name, maybe in Anuak. So Akobo is a Nuer name.
And,
okay. Before let me say something. Let me ask you. Emmanuel, let me say this. Akobo is Anuak name. It's Anuak name. Even the one who has planted those trees, his son is in Australia right now. It's called Awau. And Akobo is the first place which the missionaries come in. Even by the book of, the problem here is that these people, the Nuer people, they speak logically. But as we, the Anuak tribes, everything has been recorded, has been written. Even you yourself, you have to do research, PDF. What is the name of the Akobo? Akobo belong to who? There are many books, more than 20-something books written by the other people concerning Akobo. Akobo is Anuak land. These people, they moved because of the flooding, taking the lands of the people. One thing, how these people get into the system, it was done recently during the TPLF. When the TPLF got in Ethiopia by throwing the regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam, these people, they were the people that create a party called using the name of Noor, for Noor to get opportunity to get into the system. And the few of them, when they got there now, that is how they got into the system, changing the name of it into they call it in Amharic, Liu Warada. Now, they said that the majority win. One thing I have to level these people so that they have no thinking is that the majority win or the majority rule, it is the two-thirds, not the tribe. No matter how many tribes, how many are you in the government, you will not say we are the majority and we have to lead. No, the majority rule, it is the two-thirds. Two-thirds means the majority people, including the other people. It's not about the tribes. You see, but they are clearly saying that we are many people. We want this power to be given to us. Not like that. System politics is not like that. It is two-thirds.
My question goes to KP.
This Akobo is the Anuak name. Gambella is the Anuak name. The river. I told you before. The river. Look. The river is the Anuak. Listen, man. Operi is the Anuak name. Operi is the Anuak name. Aluru is the Anuak name.
We have even Luo from Kenya. We have, they have, I think, I believe they have a Kilo or more than stuff.
The Giro is the Anuak. The Ubak is the Anuak name. And Akubu is the Anuak name. That Akubu, it is the Akubu which we are talking about now. That's the river itself that we call it Akubu.
Okay, thank you.
These people, they don't know how to read women. People, that they were called as terrorists.
Thank
But the EU say that the world are terrorists, that the violence they fought in America, Australia, and also in Kenya, everywhere. They say this is narrow-headed. Narrow-headed means they don't think
we are narrow-headed.
These are the poor people.
Thank you. Thank you. My question, KP, is here. I think you are actually dragging us back. I'm sorry to say this because the Nuer and the Anuak will never admit which is which. Yeah. If you say Akobo belongs to who, the Nuer will never accept, and the Anuak will never accept. The question is, we are in this situation. What can we do? What can we do to come together and live peacefully? That should
exactly. So, JP, I second like Jainun's point. I would really appreciate if we focus on the solution, because sometimes when we make like the elephant in the room, the epicenter of our topic, and then we try to scapegoat like the solutions, then like the entire discussion becomes pointless. Yeah. So I don't know if you can allow me to add on other things that I think are the solutions to Gambella. Okay. So before earlier on, I told you that for me, I am an Anuak. And just because I am an Anuak, I will not shy away from like saying what I think is good for the Anuak people, because I have seen war. I know what it means to lose a relative. I know what it means to lose a mother. I know what it means to actually be displaced from your place. So, and that's why I said like since already the federal government have recognized the region as an indigenous land to 5 communities, then the solution is very open. People should accept each other. That is the main thing. And so once people accept each other, then people should, what do they need to do in order like to coexist together? That is one. Secondly, there is this fear that I keep repeating to you, that the Nuer Ethiopia after the civil war.
No, Emmanuel, I'm very sorry. No, they were recognized as a partial. Not in the constitution. No, listen. In the constitution of Gambella, I have recognized as a partial. No, I'm correcting that as a partial, not a full indigenous. In the constitution, in 1994,
my bad. I think let us interfere, right?
Sorry, I would have to
my words. I withdraw my words. Okay, I withdraw my words.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you are right. In America, they said that's right. According to the constitution, they said that Nuer Bekefil means in America, in English, they were allowed as a partial because there were intermarriage between them. So during the independence, the Anuak tribe, they are the ones setting
I think let Emmanuel speak, right? Because of what is not making sense.
No. The constitution is there. The constitution.
Just mute it.
I can promote it. I know. I can promote it to you. They have been allowed as a partial because of the intermarriage with them during the constitution at that time when the GPLM got into Gambella with the GPLM together. It is their out there.
What can we do?
By partial. They are not full indigenous. And they use that name to take the power.
I withdrew my words. Can I continue? Okay. Yeah, I have withdrawn the words because, okay, this is the thing. Gambella already right now, it has 5 communities that live there, side, and these communities have zones. Clearly, everyone can see that. These are communities that the federal government recognizes, okay? And there is no one who would say this should go because the federal government, which actually is, is the body that takes care, that maintains law and order in the country, actually says so. There is no one who is going to dispute what they said. So then, what do you do as the residents if the law of the country said these people should be here? There is no one who is above the law. No, wait, please. No, you know what? In discussion, people don't interrupt each other. I know. I understand. The problem is this. The problem now. This is why this might not be an effective discussion. Because if you expect ideas that come from me to match the ones that are in your mind, that is not going to happen. People have different views. You have spoken. I will not interrupt you. That is what you think is the solution to Gambella. Also, as a person, also, I have what I think is the solution. So allow me to talk, please. Okay. Thank you. So, like in this world, what human brain is the most lethal weapon that God has given everybody, that has blessed everybody with. And once we get to use our brains smartly, we can always evade death, we can always evade suffering, we can always evade displacement, and we can always, create a conducive environment that is prosperous, that is conducive for everyone. Okay? The problem of Gambella is just communities not getting along. People should accept each other. That is one. Secondly, the Nuer people that have the intention of, because Jalu, let me tell you this. I will say this without fear of contradiction. That after the civil war, Nuer moved to Gambella, a large population of them, with a view to integrating there. And the reason is already they are seeing a losing battle at the hands of Salva Kiir. And now people want to establish a second home. They feel like, in the near future, they might not stand a chance of getting back actually to South Sudan. And so the only solution to them is to actually slowly evade Anuak land. And this is why the Anuak are actually in constant fear of land grabbing that has actually defined their migration from historical perspective. Thirdly, the third point is this, or rather the second point. So because of that, the Nuer have already overtaken the Anuak population, and so there is the idea of the majority rules. This idea of majority rules is going to actually cause an endless war that I foresee in the future. Because initially Anuak was the majority, but right now, according to the statistics, Nuer have actually overpopulated the local population of the Anuak, and because of that, very soon people will have to follow the constitution, which says the majority rules, and majority will become the Nuer. This is a reality that might be very hard for the Anuak to accept because initially they were majority. So a solution to that would be a rotational governance. Nuer, Anuak, Nuer, Anuak. That one is going to allow people to live together peacefully. And then thirdly, it's always like, thirdly, I have seen people, people lying about each other, this and that. Such ideas, most people, youth that have very retrogressive ideas that will not bring people together, those ideas need to be discarded. Let us not dwell on, let's do this, like objectives that either communities cannot actually solve. In the end, what will that result to? People will always live in constant fear, civil wars, endless civil wars, death, displacement, and no one is happy about that. No one wants to see communities killing each other for no reason. Yeah. So, in order to solve this, what do the Nuer have to do? The Nuer have to know how to deal with their brothers who came from South Sudan, and the same applies to the Anuak. You don't have, it's always good to look from the inside.
When you judge others, it's also look from inside and judge yourself. Okay? And so, and then point number 4, this is about this discussion. You know, in discussion, even in schools, when people debate, even on international like platforms, people always allow respect for ideas, and this is very good. You know, when people share ideas, people will ideas are very different from each other. You can really learn from somebody something you've not thought of. And so when you bring all these ideas together and integrate them, the solutions would be very the solutions to a problem would easily be found, rather than just holding on to your beliefs and thinking that is something that's going to solve it, when it is really exacerbating. It's going to make it worse. Okay? So I'm not going to talk much. Maybe somebody can say.
I want to ask. What?
Yeah. Jalua, can I try to point out some point of correction, please? In 1 minute.
Short, because the Nuer are given their submission on what could be the solution.
Yeah, Emmanuel, there have been a rotation of government in Ethiopia. I mean, in Gambella. If you look at the government or the governors of Gambella, there have been Nuer, and after that time, the Anuak come in. Because right now there's Anuak, before there were Anuak, but before the Anuak came, there was Nuer. So there was a rotational government. However much the majority are Nuer, but there have been a rotational government in Gambella right now as we speak. Secondly, you say that the Nuer are having intention that they should occupy Gambella because they're running away from South Sudan. That is not true. And I think it's a propaganda. Nuer can never fit in Ethiopia, and Nuer can never leave South Sudan to go and settle in Ethiopia. So that is, I think you just make it, I think you should just remove it from your mind if you think that Nuer are going in Gambella because they want to leave South Sudan. That will never happen, and it will never happen. So the government
let me ask you real quick. You can answer it.
Emmanuel, you had your chance.
Huh? Okay.
Let's go to the Anywaa to give us the idea of a solution that can be long lasting.
Okay, let me say it a little bit. First of all, Emmanuel, thank you. I know you're Anuak, that you speak your mind, which is very important. To my understanding, to respond to the questions that you are asking, what will be the solution? The solution is very simple. We want all Nuer to bring us our villages that they took. You can be Ethiopia. Yes, the Ethiopian has recognized Nuer as indigenous in Gambella. But they don't have land. That's the problem. The people now fighting with the Nuer are the people who leave their villages because of the Nuer. Their fathers have been killed by the Nuer, and they leave all those areas, as I mentioned before, from Jiko to Itan. Even those young people, they refuse. They say we will not go anywhere from here. So if all Nuer now can surrender our villages and go back there and settle, there will be no problem. They can be Ethiopian, and they can move to any region in Ethiopia, even in Amara or in Oromia or any part of Ethiopia. That is the solution. We want all Nuer to bring back our villages that they took from our father. The second solution, we don't want any refugees in Gambella, because those are not refugees. Those are white armies with guns, killing people, killing innocent. Okay, to take the land. Even recently, they are looking another place to be called a village in Gambella town, which is, they call it Berbere Sabot, was created by the former governor of who was Noor. He was a refugee in where the mining is. He was a student. And people know him, and he has been brought by the Anuak except too, friendly, because these people, they are very smart and friendly to gain what they need, right? So the solution, all refugees must go to South Sudan. The second day, all was that they took our land. We want our land back. And there is a song they call it Verbal Ketiaraga, which is Anwar will urinate in a place called Kiragak. In a song, and they did it, they succeeded. We ignored it before, but now we are coming back to take back our villages back. And you can remain Ethiopian, but you have to go to any part of Ethiopia, not in Gambella, because that Gambella is not belong to you. You don't own any village there. Thank you.
Okay.
Just
a minute, guys. Just a minute. Yeah. Can I answer that one?
What body will bring this solution? And in that case, when you say Anuak villages, you mean both on the Ethiopian side and the South Sudanese side. Are the two governments willing, in your opinion, to implement this? Or what?
No, we are not talking about South Sudan. We are talking because there are two constitutions, Ethiopian constitution and also South Sudan constitution. We are not talking about Sudan now. It's about South Sudan because that is where the other Anuak are living in, right? What we are talking about now, Tam, Jiko, Kelut, Brana Salam, Udu, Umero, Popol, I mean, Umero, Pinmo, Potok, Ilya, Punywan, where they kill many people in. Those villages, no one's there now as we are speaking. You know, nobody living there. All are lost. They occupied Anuak land. Those villages, we need them. Even if the government don't want our ideology to bring back our villages, by any means, we will find ourselves in those villages. Because those villages, there are many people who have died, who have been killed by the war, and they took our villages, and they use Ethiopianism using those villages. We want those villages. But for them to be Ethiopians, they can live in Ethiopia, but not with the land, because they don't own any land.
So Jalo, can I intervene? Yeah, Jalo, I just want to comment.
KP, I want to say some too later after somebody.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, Jalo, I just want to tell you this. Can you see? I think his uncle maybe is older than me, and you see how Joyce come and speak about how the solution are, right? So the young people like Emmanuel, I think their solutions, they are so simple and they're so peaceful, right? So if you see how Omot is speaking and how he said that the solution should be as he said. So I think these are the people who are causing insecurity right now in Gambella, because people like Omot, they are the one funding, causing insecurities in Gambella, and they should be held accountable. And the government of Ethiopia should hold someone like Omot accountable, because now a lot of people are dying because of them, of their ideology, right? And how they think they should get the solution. As we said before, the land in Ethiopia doesn't belong to all these five tribes. It belongs to the federal government, and the federal government say who should be here, and that's why they were divided, right? So Omot, I
say something when they're done.
Yeah, Omot, I think, is one of the people that have hand in these insecurities in Gambella right now.
Yamal, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am. Thank you. So what he said is exactly what I want to say, that the Umat narrative is exactly why people are dying in Gambella today, is because of that perspective where they think the land doesn't belong to the government who welcomes refugees. The land doesn't belong to the Nuer who's been occupying that region since 1880, 1890. They don't matter. That's the perspective that's killing people today. That's unaliving people today. So that's what I wanted to add into. I know he went into great details, even the places he was naming. I don't think Nuer people occupy that place. If there's anything, I only recognize Joko, which is there's Nuer people there. But he's really is invested and knows the history, it seems like. But that narrative really is unaliving our youth today and will do so continually if they keep that up.
Okay. The last person to talk.
All right. So I've been listening to most of you. Everybody here just, everybody just come with different story. My Nuer brothers, my Nuer sister, my Anuak brother, all that. Me, myself, I'm a Anuak, I speak Nuer, all that. Born in Gambella, raised there, came to US 2005. If anybody here from 1999 to 2000, born in Gambella, and you 35 years old, 34, I think you should talk facts today because that's your whole life. You grew up in Gambella, born there. So the propaganda today that's going on between us as a community, I think my Nuer brother will say, "Oh, Anuak don't want us to be in Gambella." My Anuak people will be like, "Oh, Nuer, this." So I'm not going to talk about like everybody else bringing up an old story or this or this. I'm going to talk back for just what's going on today. And for the past 5 years, and even a refugees problem. When refugees emigrated to Gambella, we all know that like why Ethiopians are doing this. They could take refugees, Nuer people everywhere. They could take them to Asusa, they could take them to Tigray, they could take them to Romia, they could take them anywhere. But why choosing Gambella? Somebody should know that. That's a politics too. So before every Nuer refugees came to Gambella, there was Nuer in Gambella. But I'm speaking fact. I was born there. I went to school with my Nuer brother. So that's why I know Nuer. So there's Nuer people in Gambella. And when they over there, everybody never respect each other. You have your own territory, like Lare, all that, and Anuak, and everybody stay in different area. But respect was there. There's not like today, everybody killing each other. So what's going on today in the most 5 years? My Anuak people are demanding that the refugees are coming to Gambella, and my Nuer brother who are from Gambella, who are Ethiopian, they don't want to say no to this. Like from South Sudan, they come here and causing chaos. But you knew that there's something going on. They're changing life. The life we used to live like normal with Anuak people before going to school together. You see that it's different, but you don't want to say, you don't want to speak the truth. So that's why the difference come between Anywaa and Nuer. It's the refugees. The population they bring to Gambella is unbelievable. So, and every time somebody, Nuer people from Ethiopia, from Gambella will go to refugees camp and pay money to the refugees and do something to Anuak people, some like that. Anuak people can go to work, whoever have money can buy refugees money and do something to local people. So the misunderstanding just came there. And then when the meetings start, people are talking, Anuak people are demanding, why refugees people come here, and then doing this to people, killing each other, killing a Nuer kid, all that. My Nuer brother just keep quiet because if you could tell the truth, the government could have come up with a solution and be like, okay, these people come from South Sudan. Why they move here? They have problem in their land in South Sudan. So now for them to come here, they should take them far away, like maybe 4 hours away. So the different misunderstanding become right there. If my Nuer Ethiopian brother would say, hey, we've been there, our children go to school here, our children, integrate with Anuak kid. We don't have problem before. Why now we start having problem? People are dying. What is this? Nuer people and Anuak people are fighting. Let's come up with solution. If Nuer people could agree to do that, this situation today. But my Nuer brother keep quiet. Nobody in the office, nobody want to say something about refugees. But that's when Anuak people start demanding, we don't want refugees in Gambella. Let us go back to how we used to live before. That's it. But everybody on social media, everybody in America just want to be like, blah, blah, blah. Anuak, this is my land. No, this is my land. No, there's nobody that is their land. Everybody, whether you came from somewhere before, your grandfather come from somewhere before. So if you're young, you should know the story. But everybody just misunderstanding. Oh, you don't know. You don't know. You come from you was born somewhere refugees camp, even in Sudan, and you come here and then you just want to be blah blah. Oh, this is my land. Oh, this is my land. But fact is, people are dying. You know.
Thank you for that. I really left a minute to tell you this. Just a minute in addition to what he said. Please allow me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, brother. So I don't know. This is for your information. This is just to help you. I don't know if you know it, but if you know it, it's also good. Do you know that Gambella stands for two things? That Gambella is a region, one, and also Gambella is the town, which is the headquarters of the region. Do you know that? Yeah. So this is the thing. This is a fact that I wanna add to what Peace Boy said. Gambella town is actually belong to the Anuak, but Gambella region belongs to the 5 communities because all the other 5 communities live in. But since Gambella town is the headquarters of the region, everybody is required by the federal government actually to move there. Just like Nairobi is actually the capital city of Nairobi. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya, and every community goes to live there, right? So if the issue is about land, then there should be like a proposal for a new capital somewhere that is going to be central, that is going to be owned neither by the Anuak, nor by the Nuer, nor by the Komo, and nor by the Majangir. Okay? And this is going to be, if this is going to allow peace come, then that is okay. Personally, I want peace. Everybody wants peace, and that is what we want. We don't want to see our mothers dying. We don't want to see our fathers dying. We don't want to see communities in conflict. This is a new era where communities should cooperate together and build their places to become like any other nation in the world.
I think everyone will be coming to an end.
I have a question.
Can I say something?
Tomorrow, I'm having this
I think it's my turn.
Tomorrow again. I will start much earlier. We start at 10 because I started at midnight and now it's 4. So those are 4 hours already here. Tomorrow, I have questions for my real brothers, and I want us to be very honest. Number 1, is there an ideology of North Nation? If true, is there an ideology about expanding this North Nation? Is it an idea of claiming your land or expanding your land? Number three.
I think that's the topic for tomorrow. I think that's the topic for tomorrow. But I have something to tell my Anuak brothers, please. Just a minute.
Let Jenna go. Jenna 29.
There's a conflict between the Nuer and the Dinka on the South Sudanese side. Does this push the Nuer to the Ethiopian side or to the region that the Anuak occupied? So if it's true, what's the coincidence that the Nuer has problems with the Dinka and with the Anuak? This is a topic for tomorrow because we can speak for the 2 hours.
That is for tomorrow, yeah. That is for tomorrow, but I have a message for...
Everyone watching this, my name is Kevin. I'm a documentary filmmaker. I just got concerned with the situation, that's why we're having this discussion, but originally I'm a documentary filmmaker. If you could just click on my TikTok profile, there's a link there, and you can go to my YouTube and watch at least one documentary and share one with your friends. I will really, really appreciate. As of this moment, I'll give everyone literally 10 seconds to say their last words, and then we call it a night. And we meet tomorrow at 10 p.m. Kenyan time. So we start with Dominic, and then we go all the way down. Dominic, 10 seconds.
Yeah, what I can just say is to my Ethiopian people, that is my Gambella brothers and sisters, Anuak and Nuer, So let's stay peacefully in Gambella. That region belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to one tribe. We need peace. We are in 21st century, whereby we don't need war. We need to stay in peace so that our businesses, our children can go to school, right? But if we keep having a mindset of land, this land, we should leave it here, because now the people that are already passed away, they left that land already. So, and by the way, there's a bus.
Well, thank you. Just like this guy called Peace Boy narrated right now, and he made it clear that the Gambella land is for both Nuer and Anua, right? So, me, what I would just say is that the Anua should stop taking laws into their own hands, all right? We can always have dialogue. We can always report. If there's a problem, we can always report to the federal government, right? We can always report to the main government of Ethiopia. So you guys should stop that. And you, the people who are here, I feel like you guys are educated enough, but the kind of mindset you guys are bringing up here right now will not take us in front. I feel like we should elaborate on that, and we should work on our own selves. Yeah. Thank you, KP.
Yes. First off, thank you so much for hosting this. I will try to join again tomorrow, because you brought up some great points about tomorrow. But overall, as mentioned by many of my Nuer fellas already, like peace goes a long way than war. Everyone loses. It's a lose-lose situation when people fight. So I would just encourage peace and acceptance, and then let's go back to the way things used to be, where there's peace among Nuer and Anuak. So that's my closing for the night. Thank you.
There's a lot to say.
All right.
Only solution.
So much.
No story.
The solution is we don't want to live with Nuer until the refugees go back to South Sudan. Secondly, we don't live with Nuer until they leave our villages and go to the place where they want. If they want to be Ethiopian, let them go to other part of Ethiopia. Until then, there will be no living together with Nuer people. Thank you.
But, 10 seconds. Okay, I think to my Anuak brothers and to my Nuer brothers, I think we all can see, after all, we have the dialogue. The younger generation are willing, to lean forward to peace. And the older generation, like Omot, they just need violence. And this goes to the Nuer too. We have also Nuer mindset.
I'm very
Let me say here. We have older generation, both sides, Nuer and Anuak. I think it's up to us, the younger generation. We have so many regions in Ethiopia, and all the regions are doing much better apart from Gambella, with the black people in Ethiopia, among the black people in the group. So I think we should think forward how to develop Gambella into a better place, and we can make a good relationship with with South Sudan, and make a good trade instead of fighting ourselves. And don't listen to the older generation. Yeah, I don't want to mention them. Yeah.
Omoto Bang or Obang Chuka.
Not there. Yeah, Jatero. Yeah, thank you. I've listened a lot today, but it's because I was not given a sign to talk. But what I would like to say is this. If the Ethiopia government can locate Nuer to another region, because right now, let's say, for example, in Kenya, we have 47 counties, right? There is no Agikuyu will go and claim that a low county or belong to them, okay? So that's what is happening right now to our land, to our hometown, Gambella. Nuer don't want to live peace with us. They want just to kill our women, our children, raping our girls, you see. And the best solution to do is to locate all the Nuer to another county. Ethiopia is very big. Because I don't want to leave peace. People, let me say that because I did not have the sign to talk, but maybe by tomorrow I will talk. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I will talk. But the solution or my idea is to locate all the North to another county. That's when will peace come to Gambella.
Yeah, to all young men and women of Gambella region, my message is that let's be ambassadors of peace. You know, peace is the only tool that we can have towards a prosperous Gambella. And for your information, I want you to know that we are actually the elite. We are the Gen Zs that are very open-minded, and we need to look at reimagine how we look at the problems that are facing us. And so one main issue that we need to look at is that we should stop focusing on divisive politics. Let us not preach the gospel of hatred. Let us embrace, coexistence and build that Gambella together. We cannot change the state in which we are right now, but we can actually, we can change how we look at each other, and then we can hopefully live together and make that Gambella great. This is my message.
Thank you. So my message is to my brothers and sisters, as somebody who just grew up with both of them. Today I would lie to not tell the truth that, I love everybody, and just for me to just say something about, one tribe and be like, because I know in my heart they're not going nowhere. Even if God come today to say, oh, all Nuer gotta go back to South Sudan, that's not happening. So the solution is, because we can be on social media talking, but reality people killing each other back home. It's not helping me. So whatever I say in social media, whether I'm on Facebook, Instagram, it's gonna affect somebody back home who will do such thing to his brother next to him. And I'm right here. I'm here in the US, just living my best life, waking up tomorrow, going to work all day. When I come back, I write back on social media and start talking, and people killing each other over there because of what I say here. So my message to young people, please, you guys be careful of what you say on social media, both sides, Anuak and Nuer, because reality is we here forever. We the one who can just come up with solution, whether we're gonna be with each other, whether we're gonna kill each other for life. So we have the power, but the power is on us to create the message, to send the message to people, because there's people who don't know about politics, who don't know what's going on, but they're dying. So that's mine. I love you all.
So again, we're finishing this. My name is everyone talking here sounds like they're in America or somewhere else. That means you're running away from home. That means you don't like war. We should be talking towards having a solution, stopping the war. I believe you guys represent the civilized part of your population. You sound well educated. You sound well traveled. You sound well exposed. But you have a brother, sister in the village who does not have any other perspective other than we are Nuer, we have to take this land. We are Anuak, we have to kill this. It's upon you to preach this, because when you talk to them as a brother, as a sister in your own dialect, in your own language, they're likely to understand. Because we have to say that for us, we can have a platform and talk together. But for them, when you're not well educated, not well traveled, not well exposed, your viewpoint is a bit narrow. And for that reason, you easily get radicalized. So let's take it as our own responsibility to ensure that we can talk to our brothers, to tone it down. So again, we're finishing this. If you're watching this, remember that I'm a documentary filmmaker. Tap the link on my TikTok. Go visit my YouTube channel, watch one documentary. You can also visit, I think the first option in that link is GoFundMe. You can drop me something there that can keep me going. I hope to meet you tomorrow here. Not same time, I'll start 1 hour early, and we will talk about, remember, North Nation, the expansion of Nuer region. Is it an expansion? Is it really claiming land or expanding land? And the conflict that's with the Dinka, and then moving to the Anuak. So there are two communities thinking that Nuer are bad. Nuer, my brothers, I would like to talk to WASP specifically. I saw that he accused me a lot in the comment section that I'm supporting my Luo brothers and so on and so forth. I'm very neutral. WASP, I would like you to join tomorrow, be one of the guests and explain your side without attacking me. Everyone should discuss this in a mature way, keep it neutral. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you tomorrow. If you have anything,
KP, just a minute.
No, we're not allowing anymore.
There's something I want to correct from your statement. Yeah, what's happening in Gambella? It's a tribal thing. Like it's two tribes. Okay. But so what's happening in South Sudan? It's it's kind of political kind of thing.
You will explain this tomorrow. You will explain.
Yeah, and when we say okay,
I would want to say something to say it, and then I thought Ruot means king or chief. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone watching. Click the link. Visit my YouTube channel. Visit my GoFundMe. Visit my Instagram, Facebook. I hope to meet you tomorrow. If you have any information left, meet you here tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'll be ending this live in the next 3.
All right, okay. Thank you.
2, 1. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.